8,000 North Korean troops are now in Russia's Kursk region near Ukraine's border.
Now, we've not yet seen these soldiers deploy into combat against Ukraine's forces, but we expect that these North Korean soldiers will join the fight against Ukraine in the coming days.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Secretary of State Blinken just met in Washington with South Korea's foreign minister, discussing a range of options for responding.
We're speaking to countries throughout the region about this alarming development,
including China, which Austin says should be asking Russia some hard questions. Former President Trump is in territory considered Democrat-leaning, New Mexico, denying that he would cut Social Security and slamming Vice President Kamala Harris as a liar.
She's talking about we're going to have unity, and then she calls me a fascist in the next sentence. This is the worst unifier.
This after Harris spoke to reporters earlier today, calling Trump's recent remarks about protecting women, whether they like it or not, offensive.
5 days from Election Day, Vice President Harris says she still considers herself the underdog.
Donald Trump's been running for the last decade. I've been in this race about 3.5 months, and the stakes are so high.
Harris is campaigning in Arizona and Nevada today. Her campaign says she will hit every battleground state before Tuesday.
I am putting it all on the field, and it's going to be a very tight race.
The vice president is prioritizing abortion access and health care in the final days, warning a Republican-led government will repeal the Affordable Care Act.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Trump also heading to Nevada and Arizona today after his New Mexico rally. Inflation cools again, down to 2.1% for September in a closely watched Fed gauge. But an hour to the close on Wall Street, the Dow's down 214, the NASDAQ down 464. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You really haven't gotten much rain. 65 degrees, cloudy over the circle. Some rain is approaching from the west on your radar. Tonight's low drops to about 42 with rain chances hanging around through the evening. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Indianapolis has been abnormally dry this month.
We've been under 1/10 of an inch, which if the month would have ended yesterday would have set the record for the month. It does look like we could get upwards of maybe a 1/4 inch today, which would put it just above what the record low for the month would be, but very abnormally dry.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service says some more rain could show up Sunday. Should have some comfortable fall temperatures as well, hanging around at the 60s. A van was on fire and a person died this morning on the southwest side.
What happened was traffic was backed up on I-465, stop and go, just normal morning rush hour traffic, nothing significant. And a person driving a van ran into the back of a dump truck.
State Police Sergeant John Perrine says the van ended up on fire. Not long after that, the person driving died. Another serious crash this morning left a person badly hurt on I-70 westbound when a car hit a deer. Phone calls made by Delphi murder suspect while he was behind bars, of Richard Allen that is, were played in court today. One phone call while Allen was talking with his wife, Kathy. He says that he was the one who killed Abby and Libby. Kathy responded by telling Allen that's not true. She alluded to people messing with his mind while he's been locked up. Allen told Kathy in another phone call, "I think I'm losing my mind," before he once again said that he was the one who killed the girls. Today's been the 12th day of the Delphi murders trial. A burn ban was in effect in Peru Wednesday when a fire destroyed a warehouse. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The fire happened at a business called Don's Amusements and started around 8 o'clock. Rocky Buffum is the director of the Cass County Emergency Management Agency, and they were called in to help.
There's no hydrants in that area, so we use tanker shuttles, tens of thousands of gallons transported by several different fire departments from multiple counties over the night.
Buffum says they think the fire started in the warehouse and spread to a nearby field, but they're still looking into that. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Have you heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience. So I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick. She's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Bear.
What's happening, Harrison? Looking at inbound 69, a little bit slow around 82nd Street and westbound 70. Good coming to the airport from downtown. Westbound 70 from the south split out to the airport collector. If you get a patch of rain, please turn your lights on. That would be a great thing to do. Traffic sponsored by Norton 360. Outsmart cyber criminals this Cybersecurity Awareness Month with Norton 360. Keep your software updated with Norton's Software Updater feature. Get up to 58% off at norton.com/secure. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Showers and thunderstorms possible throughout the day today. Could see some gusty winds with some of these thunderstorms. We'll look for a warm day here with highs right around 71. I'm Wish TV storm tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock!
You know, Hammer, I couldn't believe it when I heard Harrison Silcox say that it's day 12 of the Delphi trial. It took us so long to get to the start of the trial. Years and years. And here we are on day 12. It seems like it's flying by. Am I off on that feeling at all? What do you think?
No, you're right. It's going relatively quickly, but I don't know if we have any resolution or
That's
not
the key.
yet. So
that's the key.
Again, for those who don't know, and we reset this a lot, but I think it's important. The way that we're all getting information in this trial is that the judge, Fran Gull, did not want cameras or phones or laptops in the courtroom, none of that. So there's a select group of reporters that all rotate, taking turns going into the court. Our Donnie Burgess is one of them. And then after that, they all kind of get together and work as a team and put their notes together and send them out to all the media outlets. So that's kind of how we're getting all these updates. Now, today, based on this information that we're hearing...
And Donnie's not in there today. He has counterparts in there that he'll get the notes from, but I believe Donnie will be in there Saturday.
Okay.
Is what he told us.
So today, the jury was hearing the jailhouse confessions that Richard Allen made to his wife and some other phone calls that he made. Now, the state's 40th witness was Indiana State Police Master Trooper Brian Harshman. He's been with the Indiana State Police for 30-plus years. Started in the Delphi case in April of 2020, and he was tasked with monitoring all of Richard Allen's jailhouse phone calls from the Department of Corrections, the Cass County Jail, county jails, you name it. He's had to listen to about 700-plus phone calls of Richard Allen. So here's a brief rundown, right? And then at 5:06 this afternoon, Donnie from our newsroom and attorney Guy Relford will break this down into more detail. But Nige, here are some of the highlights. November 14th, 2022, a call from Richard Allen to his wife, Kathy. Richard Allen says, quote, "I love you." He's crying. He tells Kathy, "I don't want you to worry about me." He says he's sorry multiple times. He's crying. He says, quote, "I effed up." And I think we all know what we mean there. "If anything happens, I'll see you in the next life."
Well, I would take "I effed up" to mean that he's saying I murdered 2 little girls.
Okay, so hold that thought here.
That is what I would take that to mean.
We're going to go in chronological order.
Okay.
April 2nd, 2023. This is Richard Allen calling his mother, Janice. This was about a 9-minute phone call. Allen's crying, and he asks his mother, "Did Kathy tell you I told her that I accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as my Savior? I've got a family that's always going to love me no matter what, and I know we're all going to be back together again eventually." He also said, "I didn't accept God into my life until March 21st, 2023. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting. The next day, April 3rd, Richard Allen calls his wife, Kathy. Quote, "Honey, I did it. I killed Abby and Libby. Now, his wife is repeating on the phone that he shouldn't say things like that. May 10th, 2023. So fast forward a little bit over a month. Richard Allen calling his wife, Kathy. Allen tells his wife, quote, I think I've lost my mind. I need to tell you something anyway. I think I need to. I need you to know that I did this. And then his wife responds, you are not well. There's no way. And then another phone call Richard Allen makes to Kathy, his wife, same day. Quote, it's okay, honey. I did it. I did it, baby. I killed Abby and Libby.
Boy.
June 11th, 2023. Phone call from Richard Allen to his wife. Quote, I did it. Do you still love me? And the call continues with Allen telling Kathy that he feels like he's already in hell. So those were the highlights of what happened in the morning session.
Low lights.
This afternoon,
Yeah.
Donnie Burgess, attorney Guy Relford will go over those notes and also have a recap of the new news that will happen in the afternoon.
Just real quick, we'll move on after I ask you this, but I mean, overall, your thoughts and feelings on those confessions. I mean, that's key to me. Those are hard hitting. I mean, like saying and not qualifying it, not talking about, you know, certain details of the case, what did and did not happen. He's like, yeah, honey, I did it over and over again.
Yeah, that's strong. But I'm sure Guy Relford, as a defense attorney, could say,
sure,
you know, what else was going on at that time? Was this when Richard Allen was kind of going crazy, losing his mind? Was this when he was eating his own feces? You know, what was the situation that he was involved in here? So there's a lot to unpack, and we'll do that at 5:06. You knew this was coming.
What's that?
Donald Trump shows up to his Wisconsin rally in a garbage truck and a trash collector suit yesterday.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Pulls up in the truck. He's got like the vest on.
Did the truck have his name on it? I can't remember. I need to go back and look if he had his name on it or not. But yeah, this is in reference to the president of the United States, Joe Biden, calling Trump's voter base garbage.
Correct. Now, keep in mind how many actual press conferences Kamala Harris has done since she's become the nominee. Off the top of my head, it's 0, right? Where she's actually working a room and taking question after question.
0.
Trump does this all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Trump did it in a garbage truck yesterday. He had a garbage truck presser.
To make that statement, it's really a disgrace. I don't think they'll have to be used. I think we're going to have a big victory. And I think 250 million people in this country are going to be very happy because we're going to bring the country back. We're a nation in decline, very, very serious decline. And we're going to bring our country back.
All the people in Puerto Rico, an apology for what the Canadians said.
No, I love Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico loves me. I love Puerto Rico. Nobody's done more for Puerto Rico than me. I took care of them when they had the big hurricanes, and nobody gets along better with Puerto Rico and the Puerto Rican people than me. They love me, and I love them.
He's saying this all while sitting on the passenger side with the window rolled down of a dump truck. Or, I'm sorry, a garbage truck. And yes, it does say Trump, make America great again on the giant place where you dump the garbage.
And if you thought, okay, that was the presser, that's the photo op, that's where it's going to end, you would be wrong. The old man walks inside on stage to do the rally, and it sounds like he was talked into wearing the garbage stuff the entire day.
And then I got in the car, and I'm driving over here, and I have this still on, and I come into the arena, and I say, where's my jacket? I want to get out of this thing. And they said, it would be unbelievable if you could wear it on stage. And I said, no way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage. They said, oh, okay, sir. I said, get me my jacket. But if you did, you know, it actually makes you look thinner. I said, And they got me. I said, I want to wear it on stage. When they said I looked thinner, I said, in that case, I'll wear it on stage.
If it makes me look a little slender, I'll wear the trash suit. Now, the guy that was driving the garbage truck was an actual garbage truck driver. It wasn't like it was, Vivek behind the wheel or anything like that.
Vivek did his own version of this, by the way.
Yes.
Second, it's another story.
Take a listen to the video that this guy put out about his experience of Donald Trump and the garbage truck.
So I had a few people reach out, so I figured I'd jump on here and just let everybody know that was me driving President Trump's garbage truck. I gotta say, it was an honor and a privilege to drive Garbage Force One. President Trump is just a normal, everyday guy. He hopped in, no problem. He looked at me. He said, "Give me one of these
Honking
right
the
here."
horn
We don't
sign.
have one of these. We have one of those. So I honked a couple times, and he laughed. He said, "How about we take this bad boy through McDonald's?" And I said, "Sir, I don't think she'll fit in the drive-thru."
Of course
he said,
he
"It's
did.
all right. I used to work there."
It's all right. I used to work there. Oh, that's awesome.
What do you call it? Garbage Force One or
Yes.
something like that?
Man, looking at the calendar here, it's October 31st, and you know what that means.
Pumpkins, candy, costumes, Halloween stuff.
According to CandyStore.com, the least popular Halloween candy is candy corn.
I like candy corn.
I don't mind it.
I'm good with candy corn.
Allison, you good with it, or are you like, get this out of here?
I like it, especially with peanuts.
Ooh.
Mix it with some peanuts.
Like a little trail mix almost kind of thing. Okay. All right.
That's interesting. Although, did you say especially? Did you throw the X?
Especially?
I thought
Especially?
I heard especially.
Specially? Specific? Specific?
Especially. For some people, okay, we've done Hammer and Nigel Records tribute to the candy corn, who is, by the way, the least popular Halloween candy. What is the least popular Halloween candy out there? And we were kind of, Hammer, you're not so much a Nickelback fan. I am.
Okay.
I'm kind of in a Nickelback mood when we
rock this one out, my
put
friend.
this together.
Sing about some candy that's got a million fans. It's orange and white and yellow, and you eat it with your hands. Come on!
Good Lord.
Buy it by the bag and eat it by the bowl. You open up your mouth and then you shove it down your hole. Come on!
All right.
Here's what the song is all about. When you take a piece of candy corn, stick it in your mouth.
Oh. Good Lord. Happy Halloween, kids.
Again, we're in a Nickelback kind of mood when we wrote that tribute to candy corn, the least popular Halloween candy.
The most popular traffic reporter is Matt Bear.
Hey, looking at inbound 60. Hey, inbound 69 stop and go after 96th Street. Down to 465 and eastbound 70 looking slow between Harding and the South Split. Inbound 65 drags a bit around West Street. Traffic sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Hammer, I love the guy that's in the YouTube feed right now, Vic.
Yes.
Vic's always in the YouTube feed, Hammer and Nigel on YouTube. Quote, the guy that can't swallow a pill likes candy corn. Shocker.
Oh, come on, Vic. Shots fired, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I will defend candy corn's honor. I will. 66 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
About plumbing repairs. Call LD Smith for honest advice and a free second opinion on any estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
As summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-494-5004 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-494-5004. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Holidays will be here before we know it. Maybe you've already started shopping for someone on your list. AAA Hoosier Motor Club inviting you to join them, help make sure some local kids in need get gifts through the Toys for Tots program. AAA giving you the chance to send a holiday message of hope to Central Indy's less fortunate kids.
And as a thank you for donating to Toys for Tots, current AAA members will receive 25% off any merchandise in the travel store or adding someone to your AAA membership featuring their fabulous 24/7, 365 days a year roadside assistance for just $25. And non-members who donate will have the opportunity for early access to a special holiday offer, a classic AAA membership for just $50. Help local children in need this holiday season and secure your peace of mind with a AAA membership. Donate to Toys for Tots at AAA. Visit AAA.com or find the AAA store near you.
Hoosiers need a fighter to protect our jobs and our values. I'm Todd Rokita, your Attorney General. I fight for you, and together we win. Suing Biden because he's opened the border to illegals who are killing us, harming our kids, and driving up our taxes. Stopping federal bureaucrats who kill jobs and jack up our electricity prices with their failed Green New Deal that does nothing for our air and water. Keeping criminals behind bars where they belong. Recovering millions of dollars from welfare theft, fraud, and from opioid drug manufacturers, all to protect your health and your tax dollars. Creating the Parents' Bill of Rights so you can protect our kids from those trying to corrupt them while you're at work. Successfully keeping boys from competing in girls' sports and defending, of course, our pro-life values. And the Gun Owners' Bill of Rights so you can defend yourself and your family. I'm Todd Rokita, and with your vote this November, we'll keep fighting and winning together. Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy in the rinse straight. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. Create your dream engagement ring and browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts. From diamond studs, tennis bracelets, birthstone necklaces, and more. With our everyday competitive prices, an unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company knows how to work with your budget, not against it. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
We've seen that sleep apnea bully stop breathing more than 100 times an hour. But this problem is solvable, and Advent has simple solutions that have been proven to be extremely effective.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Stevenson Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard air dealer in Mooresville.
Are you one of the frightened? You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hi.
Happy Halloween. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here. And we got some drama over at West 56th Street at the Colts complex. So on one hand, you've got the Colts head coach, Shane Steichen. He says that Joe Flacco is the permanent quarterback now. Not just a 1 week, I hope you learned your lesson, Anthony thing. He's the guy moving forward. But then you've got the previous starter, Richardson, speaking to reporters at his locker saying he didn't really give me a reason why.
Shane made the decision to switch quarterbacks. How did he explain it to you? Like, why was the decision made? How did he explain that to you?
He just told me that they were going to go with Joe, and that was that. And, I just had to, just take the information and just, just grow.
Did he explain why?
No, not necessarily.
No, not necessarily. All right,
Is he owed an explanation?
That's a good question. Let's see if our next guest knows a little bit. Andy Sweeney, part of the Wake Up Call on 107.5, The Fan, the Wake Up Call with KB and Andy. So, Andy, who's responsible here for this little division, this lack of transparency here? Is it Coach Steichen? Is it Anthony Richardson? Or is it both?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the big show. I am honored. I'm more than honored, quite frankly. I would say, listen, it's both, but I come down on, and Hammer, I know we've talked about this, I come down on the more and more that I listened to yesterday in Shane Steichen, they were protecting a little bit Anthony Richardson. 4 or 5 times during the press conference, Steichen used the word professional. He needs to be professional. He needs to continue to be a professional. He needs to mature and be a professional. And that just tells me that from Monday through Saturday, Anthony Richardson was not doing things that other young quarterbacks like a Jaden Daniels in Washington are doing to be the very best that they can be. And so that's fine, but when you go out and your 33% completion percentage on third downs and your 44% completion percentage, when it comes down to it, that's not going to be good enough. So, Steichen, did he maybe perhaps need to be a little bit more thorough? But, guys, let me set up a scenario that what if for the last few weeks or the last month or the last 2 months, they've been telling Richardson, hey, this is kind of what we need from you. We need you to be, I know it's a sports cliche, we need you to be first in the building, last out of the building, and you're not doing it. Well, that's why you're benched. We don't need to tell you now. We've been telling you for the last 6 weeks or 7 weeks. So I have found it interesting that the last 48 hours, that has been a little bit more of the conversation. And if we find out that more and more of that is what the deal is, that that's what's happening, guys, for sure it changes the narrative around the Anthony Richardson benching. But I'll tell you, God bless Anthony Richardson. He doesn't mind telling the media exactly what's on his mind. And for us gas bags, we love it. Don't wait. It's fantastic.
So, Andy, the $1,000,000 question is, do you agree with this? And I think I know what your co-host, Kevin Bowen, kind of said. I think you guys are maybe pushing back against each other. Do you agree with this move? And what does your co-host say?
Okay, so Bowen, and I understand his point. His point is not wrong that the Colts for a number of years now have done the Band-Aid. Yeah, I think the Phillip Rivers thing, they thought it could work. And then, it goes to Carson Wentz, and obviously Matt Ryan was an abject disaster. There have been some lean years at the quarterback position. And so there is scar tissue there, and I understand it. The big picture takeaway of we need to find out if we can find a quarterback that's going to lead us here like everyone else has in the AFC that is worth a damn. I understand that, and I don't disagree with that, but my point is more, what if they have found out a lot in the last year and a half about Anthony Richardson? So there is a large part of me that is, if you're benching him because he's not bringing it 100% and being the leader, that is to me, it is fundamentally, guys, different than him just struggling at the quarterback position. If he were just struggling, that would be one thing. It's understandable. He's young. He hasn't had a lot of reps. But if you're telling me he's struggling and you don't feel like he's busting his ass like he should, then if that becomes the narrative that is true, then I cannot sit here today with you guys and blame the Colts as much as, or blame Shane Steichen as much as people are now. I still blame the Colts and I still blame Chris Ballard because he messed up in the evaluation if Anthony Richardson isn't mature enough for the job.
Andy Sweeney is our guest from 107.5 The Fan. Andy, we got about a minute left here, but head coach Steichen was asked if the team is unified in this decision to bench Anthony Richardson. He says, I can't speak for our team. And then you've got Michael Pittman Jr. saying he found out about this through social media. Am I wearing a tinfoil hat here, Andy, if I think this just smells of Jim Irsay?
No, I mean, listen, here would be the thing. It's not even Irsay saying, hey, you got to sit Anthony Richardson. It's not even that, Hammer. It's more of, what if Irsay is saying now, hey, guys, I'm embarrassed by what's going on here a little bit. I'm embarrassed by some of the play. I'm embarrassed by the tapping out of the game. What if he says, now you guys got to make the playoffs? Well, who do they think they can make the playoffs with? Joe Flacco? Right? I mean, they when they benched Anthony Richardson, I think it was like almost 20, it's like 18% their chance went up of making the postseason. As for the guys finding out different ways, Tuesday is a difficult day in the NFL. Guys are gone. Guys, it's their day off. Some guys are part of the leadership council. Some guys are not. It's still odd that Pittman and like Zaire Franklin found out from the media, but they're not around the facility. That's the only caveat on why I'm not crushing them over that, is some guys or new guys aren't around the facility. But all in all, you guys know it and I know it. It's a look, and the Colts look like a bunch of clowns because of it.
What's coming up on the big show tomorrow?
Well, I mean, tomorrow we have Matt Taylor. We have our meager picks. We have Greg Rakestraw, and then obviously this conversation will continue this afternoon. Jonathan Taylor, DeForest Buckner, and others meeting with the media. So we'll talk about that, what people think is going to happen during the game, and obviously all the drama in between.
Andy Sweeney, part of the wake-up call with KB and Andy on 107.5 The Fan. Andy, awesome stuff, man. Thank you.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. Take care.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Jennifer McCormick couldn't name a single thing she disagreed with Hillary Clinton on. That's because, just like Hillary, McCormick backed failed liberal policies. She endorsed Bidenomics, said she'd be honored to serve in Biden's administration. She opposed school choice, and she even supports biological boys playing girls' sports.
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
I did vote for Hillary Clinton. She had some great, world foreign policy experience. So, I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
It gets worse. Here's what Jennifer McCormick says about Donald Trump.
I cannot get behind that. Never voted for Trump, never will vote for Trump, never was behind Trump, never will be behind Trump. I just cannot get behind a party who is behind that type of leadership. To me, it's nonsensical.
Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A couple of bad wrecks this morning. 65 degrees, cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. A decent amount of rain on your radar. Just make sure your wipers and headlights are on. 42 is your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:32. A person died not long after driving their van into a truck this morning on 465 at the southwest side. State Police Sergeant John Perrine says another driver was hurt when their car hit a deer on I-70 westbound.
Yeah, very critical. Well, it was what I was told. They did survive the crash, but they had some very, very critical injuries.
State Police Sergeant John Perrine says you need to be careful if you're out driving in this rain. Both vice presidential candidates are trying to sway some voters with less than a week until Election Day. Fox's Ryan Schmelz reports.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz visiting the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as he makes the final pitch to get out and vote.
We're now inside 120 hours to this election. But when do you get a chance in 120 hours to make a positive impact on future generations to come?
Meanwhile, Senator J.D. Vance will be hitting Michigan, North Carolina, Nevada, and Arizona between now and Saturday. The latest Fox News power rankings have 4 of the 5 states rated as toss-ups. Arizona is leaning in favor of the Republican ticket. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Millions of dollars in damage in a 70,000-square-foot warehouse were destroyed by a fire Wednesday in Peru. Rocky Buffum, the director of the Cass County Emergency Management Agency, was there.
We don't get many fires of this scale in this area in Cass County or Miami County, and the majority of the personnel in providing fire suppression in Indiana, most of the landmass is served by volunteers.
Don's Amusements was the business inside the warehouse. The Indiana State Fire Marshal's office is looking into the cause of the fire. And you might have noticed that it hasn't really rained much lately until today. Andrew White with the National Weather Service says the dry conditions raise the risk of fires.
This time of the year especially, there's a lot of field fires, especially with people out getting the farms
harvested, and especially when you're talking 2-3 weeks without rain, it's going to become a bigger issue, especially as those leaves begin to fall.
White says today's rain should be gone by tonight. The next chance for rain isn't going to be until Sunday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:34.
Hey folks, Hunter Smith here. I spent every fall from my childhood until my days in the NFL on the gridiron. Football gave me the chance to attend Notre Dame and go on to win a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts. Football also taught me life lessons about hard work and toughness. This fall looks a little different. I'm not on the field. I'm running to represent you at the State House, and I'm taking hits from opponents. Hits meant to mislead you about my values and priorities. I'm tough enough to take it, and I trust voters are smart enough to know the truth.
Hunter Smith is a husband, father, and local business owner of Wonder Tree Farm. At the State House, Hunter will work to lower property taxes without impacting priorities like public safety. The Indiana State Police Alliance and Fraternal Order of Police endorse Hunter Smith, and Hunter will always empower parents to choose the best education for their kids. Vote Hunter Smith for state representative.
Paid for by Hunter Smith for Indiana.
With traffic at 3:35, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at eastbound at 70, and that slows into downtown Belmont to the south split. Inbound 65, stop and go 29th to Meridian Penn. Southwest side, southbound 465, stop and go from 70 to Kentucky Avenue. At inbound 69, slows 96th Street down to 465. Crash College Avenue at 30th. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 Cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We'll dry out just in time tonight for those going out trick-or-treating with decreasing clouds. Any breeze still around. Lows will eventually fall into the low 40s by Friday morning. Friday, bright and cooler with highs in the mid to upper 50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
JMV here. Miss M's Home and Garden has everything you need to finish fall outright. Come find the best fall selection of nursery stock in Johnson County and save when you buy. Miss M's has 30 to 50% off trees and shrubs. That's right, all trees and shrubs at least 30% off. Enjoying all the fall colors around your area. Add them to your landscape now for color this fall and next season as well. Miss M's located on State Road 135 south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville.
Hey, this is Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Bill Klontz Heating and Cooling. Danny Polson is the new owner, and he says changing your filters isn't the only thing that you can do to save money on heating bills.
Preventative maintenance is a big thing, too. That's what we do. We come out and fire up the furnace right before the winter and, make sure everything's working properly and ready for the winter season.
Just go to BillKlontz.com, CLONTZ. Bill Klontz Heating and Cooling is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Attorney General Todd Rokita is fighting to protect Hoosiers. That's why the Indiana State Police Alliance has endorsed Todd Rokita for re-election. They know Todd Rokita is protecting our jobs, protecting us from crime, and working to end illegal immigration, always putting Hoosiers first. Attorney General Todd Rokita is fighting to protect Hoosiers.
Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
Trick or treat, trick or treat.
The Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
Check the children.
My name is Nigel. That is Jason Hammer right over there. Trick or treat times, very Hammer. Like in Zionsville, it's 5:30 to 8:30. Those are the official hours in Zionsville.
Okay.
But you go down the road to Lebtucky, you go down to Whitestown, it's 6 to 9.
Oh.
I'm not sure what the difference is.
So you could really just jump, to another city and get an extra 30 minutes of trick-or-treating in.
I guess, but I don't know why.
Am I the fat kid that says that? Like, Allison just looked at me like, I think it's okay. You don't have to just keep going. But yeah, most places are until 8. I know the Indiana State Fairgrounds, they're doing that safe Halloween night. It's like a big indoor trunk or treat style of event from 5 until 7. So if you want to stop by and check that out, it's at the Ball State Champions Pavilion.
Who are those for? I mean, those are for people that don't want to necessarily knock on their neighbors' doors because they're very sketchy and scary.
Maybe you live in a bad neighborhood, right?
Right.
Maybe you live in one of these hotspot neighborhoods, but you're a good family and your kids want to go out and trick or treat. So it's like, you know what? Instead of going to knocking on all these doors where squatters are in there and drug dealers, maybe we'll just go over to the Indiana State Fairgrounds and do the safe trunk or treat. And you'll probably end up getting more candy that way anyway. Now, as the kids are going out, and a lot of parents going out with them, just a little friendly reminder from your good friends at the Indianapolis FBI department branch. Break-ins and vandalisms spike on Halloween. Stay safe and report any suspicious activity.
Report suspicious activity on Halloween? That's all it is out there. That's all you see in neighborhoods is suspicious activity.
3 people dressed like Chewbacca are walking down the road. But is there anything suspicious? I guess not. No. But that makes sense, though, because if you know a house that has young kids, they're going out, they're hitting the streets, which means bad guys are going to break into your house. IMPD also put out a tweet today talking about some of the safety tips for the kids going out trick-or-treating. A lot of it's common sense stuff, right? Like make sure if you're walking and it's dark, you've got some sort of reflector or light or something like that. But the real one, and this is kind of a sign of the times here, avoid using prop guns that look like real guns. I get you want to have an authentic costume, but if you're dressed like a creepy clown and you go to somebody's house and pull that gun out, Tony Katz and Guy Relford are going to shoot you. So please be careful.
Make sure that prop gun has an orange tip.
Right. Like painted yellow. It looks like a squirt gun, something.
Now, the other thing they always say is to check all the candy one by one. Can I make a confession here? And if the Child Protective Services are called, so be it. I've never done that once. My parents never did that for me.
Really?
I've never checked the candy.
If you get something in the bag and it's open, do you just allow them to eat it, or do you say, let's throw this one away?
I don't know that that's ever happened.
Because you don't check the candy. That's why. See? You fell right into my trap.
Fell right into it.
Another tip from IMPD here about the trick-or-treaters tonight. Only give and accept wrapped or packaged treats. Now, I wish they would have made a big deal about this back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because there was a toast incident one year.
Toast?
Went trick-or-treating, go up to the door, trick-or-treat, got my costume on, and it's a real old dude. And maybe he didn't have a pot to pee in, I don't know. But instead of candy, he said, here's some toast. And he takes his bare hands, no glove, none of that, bare hand, grabs like this toast that he made and just throws it in my bag. No butter, no jelly, just bread in my bag.
Hammer and Nigel, bread in my bag. Hey, what'd you do? Did you sample? Did you take a nibble?
No. I didn't want mysterious hand-smeared, unchecked toast. Because in our house, we check the candy, Nige.
Okay.
According to a new poll about scary movies, psychological horror movies like Silence of the Lambs or Misery or something like that come in at number 1 with 18% of the vote.
I just watched Silence of the Lambs again for the first time in years, but it still holds up, obviously. It's pretty... I fast-forwarded through some parts.
Sure. But it should tell you, like, how competitive this poll is if number 1 is 18% of the vote, and that's psychological. Coming up next was comedic horror, like Shaun of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, those type of movies. Number 3 at 11%, supernatural horror movies. And that includes anything from, like, Conjuring, The Exorcist, Candyman.
Oh, Candyman used to scare the crap out of me when later in my teens, I used to watch that. Boy, that was a scary one.
And 22% of the people in the survey say they never watch horror movies. I'm not a big horror movie guy. I'm not.
Not anymore, I'm not.
But what if you took some of my favorite movies and you turn them into scary horror movies. Like if you turned Forrest Gump into a scary Halloween movie, this is what it would sound like.
He's haunted his whole life.
Hey, stupid!
Destined to be alone. And the one person he cared for.
You don't know what love is.
Pushed him aside.
She was my special friend. My only friend.
And sent him over the edge.
Mom always says dying was part of life. Boris, what are you doing here? You can't keep doing this all the time. I can't help it. Jenny, I write you all the time. You just stay away from me, please. Bye-bye, Jenny. I wanted to be your boyfriend. I'm not a smart man. Boris, you stay away from me. But I know what love is. Why don't you love me, Jenny?
Fatal obsession.
Like, that's a psychological horror movie right there.
Terrifying right there.
Great moments in Halloween history. Nige, remind me to never, and I mean ever, trick-or-treat in St. Johnsbury, Vermont.
Police in St. Johnsbury wrapped up their investigation into a smelly Halloween mystery. They tell us a kid didn't get a treat, they got a bag of poop.
Oh.
Great moments in Halloween history. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
How much money do I need to retire? Maybe that's not the right question. Maybe you need to ask yourself, how much money do I need every month to cover my expenses in retirement? That's the better question. Discover how you could turn your savings into guaranteed streams of income in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy.
Bill Demery is awesome, and when you speak with him, he breaks things down in a way you can understand. I trust Bill Demery, and if you've saved more than $200,000 for retirement, you should call him, set up a time to speak, and you can develop the same type of relationship that I have with him. 317-648-5120. Let's be honest, Social Security alone is not going to be enough, so you're going to need a little help. That's where Bill Demery comes in. 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
Joyner Homes. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana and has a streamlined, fully custom home build process with an in-house team of architectural and design specialists. So you can focus on the fun stuff like cabinets and flooring and paint colors. They truly build unique, character-rich, smart design homes anywhere that you can bring a builder or on your own private lot. Check out their pricing online at joinerhomes.com. That's where you can also see some of the homes they've built. That's joinerhomes.com.
Hi, this is Richard Stevenson. Is your furnace ready for the winter? Give us a call, 317-557-8532.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is your independent American Standard air dealer.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, it's a big night tonight, trick-or-treat night. Matt Bear, it's early, but how are the roads looking?
Westbound is 70 in the north split crash blocking the center lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to Rural Street, Keystone Avenue. On the south end of downtown, crash westbound 70 after West Street, just pushed to the right shoulder. Still, we are slow back to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 stop-and-go traffic, MLK to Meridian, Penn, 7-minute delay. And eastbound 70 drags into downtown south split from Belmont, 14-minute delay. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And again, to piggyback off of everything Matt was just saying, it's a big night tonight. Kids are going to be excited. If you're out driving, just slow down. Get off your damn phone. A lot of kids are going to be out tonight. Don't be a moron. 65 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
There's something going on which we cannot explain.
The Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
A quick update on big tech censorship. Allison, are we ready?
Do we have the music?
Come on now.
Let's go. So there's been a lot of controversy about the Donald Trump interview with Joe Rogan. As soon as it was available, a lot of people had a hard time finding it as it was uploaded to YouTube, right? And there should be no issue with that at all. But a lot of people had issues. Joe Rogan even had to put out a statement saying, you know, listen, we've not been shadow banned or anything like that. YouTube said they're working to get everything going. Well, House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan from Ohio is accusing YouTube and their parent company of censoring that conversation between Trump and Joe Rogan. In a letter to Alphabet, which is the parent company, Rogan says that the tech giant, quote, appears to have censored the video of Joe Rogan's recent interview with President Donald Trump. We seek an immediate briefing on, 1, YouTube's decision to censor Joe Rogan's interview with President Trump, and 2, Google searches elevation and material critical of the interview. Now, YouTube has responded saying, quote, we've worked to resolve this and viewers will begin seeing the full podcast and more YouTube searches coming soon.
I just typed Joe Rogan Trump in YouTube and it popped right up.
Did it the full show?
I'm not trying to. Yes, the 2 hours, 58 minutes, 20 seconds. So I'm not trying to. I'm just saying I got it. Maybe they fixed the glitch.
How many views does it say is on YouTube? Now this isn't downloads from Joe's
from 5
podcast,
days ago.
but
41 million views is what it says.
So 41 million people.
Wow.
I mean, it doesn't feel like it's suppressed. I mean, I got to be honest. I was able to find it right away too.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe Jim Jordan's just trying to stir the pot here.
Yeah, no, but those guys that look at those numbers and know what usually happens and know what the usual results are, including Joe Rogan, said, oh, yeah, okay, something's different here.
And if you can't find it, it should have been the very first thing that pops up in the search, right? Like, maybe they fixed it now, but I think shortly after that podcast went live, there were some people that had a hard time trying to find it. Speaking of YouTube, popular YouTube influencer and now boxer Jake Paul put out a video endorsing Donald Trump.
Oh.
Now, he does this video and he kind of makes fun of people that listen to celebrities, but his whole angle is, I'm a boxer, and if you want people like me to beat up on your daughters, men playing women's sports, you've got to vote for Donald Trump.
Okay.
I think it would be better to have a president that doesn't want biological men competing in women's sports. How many opportunities over the last couple of years have been stripped from women who spend their whole entire lives in a sport hoping for opportunities for it to be taken away by a biological male? And not to mention biological men in women's restrooms. What world have we gotten to where that seems acceptable and that is a political discussion in any way, shape, or form?
Or biological men incarcerated that want transgender surgery and the taxpayers to pay for it.
There's that too.
As Kamala Harris has advocated for.
Think about this. The last two election cycles, they wanted the Boston Marathon bomber to vote, and then they wanted us to pay for a sex change.
Awful.
I'm out.
The guys at Galaxy Concrete Coatings did a tremendous job, and they did it very quick. This new coating on my garage floor took less than a day. My Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world. They don't use epoxy. A lot of my neighbors were asking if that was epoxy. No. What they use is polyurea. That's the new premium standard for coatings. And as a matter of fact, Galaxy Concrete Coatings did such a good job on my garage floor, I want them to come down and do the concrete floor in my furnace room. Check out their website to see pictures and get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or give them a call, 751-9070.
Hoosiers need a fighter to protect our jobs and our values. I'm Todd Rokita, your Attorney General. I fight for you, and together we win. Suing Biden because he's opened the border to illegals who are killing us, harming our kids, and driving up our taxes. Stopping federal bureaucrats who kill jobs and jack up our electricity prices with their failed Green New Deal that does nothing for our air and water. Keeping criminals behind bars where they belong. Recovering millions of dollars from welfare theft, fraud, and from opioid drug manufacturers, all to protect your health and your tax dollars. Creating the Parents' Bill of Rights so you can protect our kids from those trying to corrupt them while you're at work. Successfully keeping boys from competing in girls' sports and defending, of course, our pro-life values. And the Gun Owners' Bill of Rights so you can defend yourself and your family. I'm Todd Rokita, and with your vote this November, we'll keep fighting and winning together. Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-251-1912. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 463-251-1912. That's 463-251-1912.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves, but don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center. Our multidisciplinary care team will guide you every step along the way.
It was very overwhelming at first, but I found this whole community of people who are understanding and just very supportive. So I have a lot of thankfulness and gratefulness for who I am through this and after this.
Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
Coming up in 2 minutes, there were some bad crashes on interstates this morning, and despite today's rain, it's been a pretty dry month. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
A campaign tug-of-war over women. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, as each side accuses the other of offensive remarks.
That attack by Mark Cuban was an attack on tens of millions of hardworking women across this country.
New York Congresswoman and House Republican Conference Chair Elise Stefanik, after businessman and Harris campaign surrogate Mark Cuban said former President Trump doesn't surround himself with strong, intelligent women and doesn't like to be challenged by them.
Basically calling women who support President Trump weak and dumb, saying that you can't be strong and intelligent to support President Trump. That is the disgraceful closing argument that Democrats are making.
This after Harris called out Trump for saying he'll protect women whether they like it or not.
He is not going to be fighting for women's reproductive rights. He does not prioritize the freedom of women and the intelligence of women to make decisions about their own lives and bodies.
As she continues to make abortion rights a focus of her campaign, both candidates visit Nevada and Arizona today after a Trump rally in New Mexico.
The day I take the oath of office, the migrant invasion ends and the restoration of our country begins.
His first campaign stop in that Democrat-leaning state as he tries to court more Latino voters. U.S. intelligence points to some 10,000 North Korean troops in Russia, as many as 8,000 of them now near the Ukraine border.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he expects North Koreans will be used on the front line.
Putin has been throwing more and more Russians into a meat grinder of his own making in Ukraine.
Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin are pressing China to put pressure on both Pyongyang and Moscow to de-escalate the war.
Fox's Jared Halpern. A sell-off on Wall Street. The Dow down 378 points at the bell. The NASDAQ down even more, plunging over 500 points. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
A good reminder to drive careful in this weather. Rainy and 64 degrees downtown. Your radar shows most of that rain at the moment south of Indianapolis and also further to the east. Low temps down to the 40s tonight. Tim Harrison Silcox, here's what's trending at 402. A crash involving a deer happened this morning. John Herrick reports.
It happened on I-70 westbound around 6 a.m. State Police Sergeant John Perrine says deer can be hard to spot, especially in the rain.
If you've ever been in a crash with a deer or a near miss, you realize how absolute quick that can happen just in the blink of an eye, and sometimes you just don't really have a choice.
He says make sure you manually activate your headlights when rain gets heavier because that's when visibility gets tricky. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Phone calls made by Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen are played in the courtroom today. One of those phone calls was Allen talking with his wife Kathy while behind bars, saying that he was the one who killed Abby and Libby. Kathy responded by telling Allen that's not true. She even alluded to people messing with his mind since he had been locked up. Allen told Kathy in another phone call, I think I'm losing my mind, before he once again admitted to the killings. Indianapolis has been abnormally dry this month, says Andrew White with the National Weather Service.
We've been under 1/10 of an inch, which if the month would have ended yesterday would have set the record for the month. It does look like we could get upwards of maybe 1/4 inch today, which would put it just above what the record low for the month would be, but very abnormally dry.
White says some more rain is possible Sunday, then you'll get some comfortable fall temperatures in the 60s. Vigo County is one to keep an eye on this presidential election. Kurt Darling tells you why.
That's because since 1888, voters there have picked the winning candidate in all but 3 elections. Indiana State University political science professor Matthew Bergbauer tries to explain it on Wish TV.
A good amount of the bellwether status is pure luck. When it comes to this election, 2024, I expect the county to continue supporting Trump.
He does say, though, that Vigo County boasts a diverse political background between large rural populations and 4 college campuses. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
As the summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-262-1104 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-262-1104. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt there.
All right, Harrison, looking at the north split crash out of the interstate, cleared the center lane, westbound 70 at the north split, still stop and go traffic back to Sherman Drive. Now on the south end of downtown, this is westbound 70 after West Street crash, blocking the right shoulder. It's right there as you enter westbound 70 from West Street on the right shoulder, so be careful on that entrance ramp. Eastbound 70 stop and go Tibbs Avenue into the south split southwest side of southbound 465 stop and go before 70 Two-Man Road. Traffic sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We'll dry out just in time tonight for those going out trick-or-treating with decreasing clouds, any breeze still around. Lows will eventually fall into the low 40s by Friday morning. Friday, bright and cooler with highs in the mid to upper 50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
Man. Can I tap out like Anthony Richardson for this break? Because we're going to play some audio from The View today, and I like to save that for when I get home.
You're a big diehard View guy.
Forget Jesse Waters and the Five. It's all about The View. The kids go to bed, I put my feet up, I make a martini, and it's
when
The
Joy
View.
Behar gets rocking and rolling, you feel alive inside.
I feel a little warm, for sure.
So Mark Cuban, longtime Dallas Mavericks owner, rich guy, Shark Tank, IU grad. We all know Mark Cuban,
No
right?
longer the majority owner.
Right, sold most of his stake in the Mavericks. So he goes on Nigel's favorite show today. And I don't know if this is a hot take or if this is the strategy the Dems are going for, but just a couple of days removed from Joe Biden calling all Trump supporters garbage, from Barack Obama calling out dudes that aren't voting for Kamala Harris.
No, he didn't say dudes. He said brothers.
Brothers. Here's Mark Cuban saying that Donald Trump doesn't surround himself with strong or smart women.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. Yeah. It's just that simple.
Wow.
Now, let that sink in for just a little bit, because that is what these people think of you. If you are a woman that believes in a closed border, a good economy, school choice, if you believe that we should not be involved in wars, these people, Mark Cuban, The View, Biden, Harris, they think you are a dumb, weak woman. Let that sink in. Play Mark Cuban just one more time, please, Allison. This was on The View earlier today.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple.
And of course, you extrapolate that, saying that there are no strong, smart women that support Trump. Of course, that's what he's saying.
So Tulsi Gabbard isn't strong and smart?
That's what he's saying, yeah.
Friend of the show, Gunnery Sergeant and Veterans for Trump Executive Director Jessie Jane Duff is not strong and smart. The founder of Moms for America put out a little video.
So Mark Cuban just said that smart, intelligent women are never seen with President Trump. How insulting is that? I am the president and founder of Moms for America. I am a smart, intelligent woman, and I absolutely stand with President Trump because I am a smart, intelligent woman.
From Clay Travis today. Hey, Mark Cuban, you sold the Mavericks to Miriam Adelson and her family. Miriam is a huge Trump supporter, one of his biggest donors. She is smart and intelligent and frequently with Trump. Is she weak and dumb?
What about Kristi Noem? Kristi Noem, frequently around Donald Trump.
Mark Cuban just said that he's never seen President Donald Trump around strong and intelligent women. Well, game on, buddy. I'll take you on any day in a debate or maybe even arm wrestling.
My money's on Kristi Noem.
I am too. Man, I'm on a text message thread with a few moms and friends of my wife that I know from Zionsville and the Boone County area that really, like, if I want to know about school boards, city, county council stuff, I seek their advice.
Sure.
You know what? Like, I know I'm here on the radio and we talk about this stuff every day, but I see, I'm friends with a couple of very smart females that know their stuff, especially when it comes to local politics. This guy's bull. Oh, man, I almost said it.
You almost said it.
It pisses me off, man.
And it should. I mean, think about what the messaging has been from the Democrats this week. They know the finish line is near, so you're a Nazi, women are stupid, men are weak, everybody's garbage. They're in panic mode right now. And Emily Campagno, she is one of the hosts of Outnumbered on Fox. That's the program where it's usually a panel of women, like 4 or 5, and then they have like one male guest. That's why it's called Outnumbered. She was fired up today.
The audacity behind that comment, the hubris behind it, the cavalier quality, how easily it rolled off his tongue, that he could, with a broad brush, afforded a billionaire, a reality TV star, to say to all of those who served in the military, in the administration with Donald Trump, those incredible, strong, intelligent female leaders, the best of us, the treasure, that they are not strong, that they are unintelligent, and to say it with a straight face, thinking it would be applauded. That is garbage.
I'm just on Mark Cuban's X profile. He's walking it back. He's explaining.
Okay.
He's explaining. I'm not even going to waste your time with it, but trust me, bud, if you're explaining, you're losing.
Correct. Turning our attention to the race for the White House here, CNN's poll analyst, the guy that gets up there on the big map and breaks down the numbers and crunches the numbers. This is CNN's guy, not Fox, not Breitbart. Here he is talking about what he's seeing.
Just 28% of Americans, voters, think the country is going in the right direction, is on the right track. And I want you to put that into a historical perspective for you. Okay, what's the average percentage of the public that thinks that the country is on the right track when the incumbent party loses? It's 25%. That 25% looks an awful bit like that 28% up there. It doesn't look anything like this 42% doesn't look anything like this 28%. So the bottom line is very few Americans think the country is on the right track at this particular point. It tracks much more with when the incumbent party loses than with it wins. In fact, I went back through history. There isn't a single time in which 28% of the American public thinks the country is going on the right track in which the incumbent party actually won. They always lose when just 28% of the country believes that the country is on the right track.
So if you're into analytics,
wow.
There you go. Now, hearing the word always, kind of as a gambler, right, makes me a little skittish because there's no such thing as a guarantee. But the numbers are lining up. But we're going to talk to Rob Kendall a little bit later on because His claim is that even if the numbers are lining up, you've got to worry about other stuff. And we're going to put him on the spot today. We want his presidential pick. Who's going to win this thing? That's coming up in just a little bit. Nige, Swifties, they're coming to town. The decorations are going up. Did you see how much parking is over at Circle Center Mall?
Oh, yeah. One of our buddies just tweeted out like $80. Like,
$80 event parking.
Starting, like if you don't go to the mall and spend money and you just want to park there, it's $80.
Woo!
I mean, that starts tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tay-Tay in concert.
Good luck finding a parking spot. Matt Baer is going to be on with us tomorrow, and he's going to break down in detail the road closures and all that kind of stuff going on. The merchandise store is already open over by the convention center. So if you know somebody that likes Taylor Swift, if you've got a daughter or a granddaughter, go over there and buy some merch. Maybe you can make that a Christmas gift later on or something. Or you could go to the Hammer and Nigel Show merchandise store, and that makes the best gift, right? Buy the Hammer and Nigel Show hoodie, the Beer Sample Friday pint glass, the hat. It's all right there. The perfect gift for the holidays. Store.hammerandnigel.com. Big Halloween plans tonight, Nige? You going out with the kiddos?
Yeah, the neighborhood, sure. We've got some pretty cool neighbors that have some elaborate displays. It's crazy. It's like I feel like I'm living next to the Hammer household, actually.
Man, I love it. I love seeing the kids all walking around, trick-or-treating in their costumes. I think it's kind of cool. Takes me back to when I was a kid, man, and everybody would go outside.
We're doing it.
It's a different time now than when we were kids, Nige.
Really?
Things are a little bit politically correct. Here to break it down is the Crypt Keeper.
Halloween will soon be upon us, and with it, the dead will rise, and zombies will tear you limb from limb, eating your flesh.
A quick disclaimer that the violent nature of the zombies is not approved or condoned by this station. Also, eating of flesh is highly unsubstantiated and not allowed.
What? And the demons from hell will attack all souls, dragging you to below the pits of hell.
Also, there will be no attacking or touching of any human by demons in unappropriate ways unless consensual verbal communication is first observed from that said person and or persons.
Sure.
And you shall be tortured by the never-ending painful screams of ghostly...
Torturing and or waterboarding is not a legal nor condoned act of this person of evil nor any other person.
Now I give up. Forget it.
Please have a happy and safe Halloween.
Screw you.
It's a different time now than it was back in the day. Matt Baer.
Eastbound 465 Southside crash before Emerson Avenue, and this is going to be on the far left shoulder, causing stop-and-go traffic back to I-65. South end of downtown crash. Westbound 70 after West Street. It's on the right shoulder, stop-and-go traffic almost into the south split. Inbound 65 slows MLK to Meridian Penn. North side eastbound 465 stop-and-go from Westfield Boulevard to the White River, and on the northwest side, northbound 465 stop-and-go traffic 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
65 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. We're going to do Is This Anything coming up next. But first, we need 37 people to hit like on the YouTube stream. That'll get us to 100 likes. And if we don't get to 100 likes, we're just going to play audio of Whoopi Goldberg giving you a lecture from 5 to 7 o'clock tonight. And nobody wants that. So for the love of God, for the love of everything holy, we need at least 37 people to hit the like button on the WIBC YouTube stream of this show.
Oh, yeah, Hammer and Nigel here for your Central Indy American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro Dealer. That would be Absolute Comfort. Absolute Comfort, they specialize in these Mitsubishi Electric Ductless Mini Splits. You mount them on your wall or flush with the ceiling. They heat and cool at a very efficient level. You could use them to heat or cool specific rooms without duct work, which ends up being a very clean way to heat and cool your house, business, or even your garage.
These high-tech units are how most of the world heats and cools their homes and offices. These Mitsubishi electric ductless systems have advancements that can sense when a person's in a room, and then it can warm or cool that room to that person's wishes. For the ultimate in efficiency and comfort, contact Chris Wedekin at Absolute Comfort to find out more. AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your American standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
You heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience. So I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick, she's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi, my entire family's obsessed with all things Wicked, but my kids can't stop watching the trailer, and now they're having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Do you think our internet can handle all of the streaming and memeing going on?
Well, we've engineered our Xfinity gateways to handle hundreds of devices at once, so they can all stay magically connected.
Wow. Are you a wizard?
I wish. No, just someone that won't let a bad connection burst your internet bubble.
Now through December 22nd, get Thrillifyingly fast 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $35 a month for 12 months with no annual contract and free Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com to switch today. Keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen. And see Wicked, only in theaters November 22nd. Restrictions apply. Requires Prevost bill and auto stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply. Currently $56 a month for internet service and $15 for Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Pour Downy in the rinse straight. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Attorney General Todd Rokita is fighting to protect Hoosiers. That's why the Indiana State Police Alliance has endorsed Todd Rokita for re-election. They know Todd Rokita is protecting our jobs, protecting us from crime, and working to end illegal immigration, always putting Hoosiers first. Attorney General Todd Rokita is fighting to protect Hoosiers.
Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
Hey, don't take your eyes off the road, just listen. What you hear right now, your customers hear it too. Get your message heard. Text BUSINESS to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Stevenson Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard air dealer in Mooresville.
Hammer and Nigel presents.
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Yep. Big Nige, is this anything? New York City. They finally have realized that they've got a crime problem.
No way.
So what they've done is they got the movers and shakers all together, and they said if they do this one thing, it's going to be all right. No more prostitution, no more drugs, no more murder, no more assault. New York City has officially legalized jaywalking. One of the reasons
thank God
that these movers and shakers wanted to do this was that they feel like people of color were being ticketed more so than the white man. So for the sake of diversity, for the sake of easing the burden of the crime situation in New York, they have now legalized jaywalking.
Who cares?
Who cares?
So what else is new? I jaywalked my whole life here. I lived here for 60 years and I jaywalked. Gotta be alert. You're in New York. Look alive.
You get a chance, you go. Take it. If it's safe? If it's safe, you go. Watch both ways, because now we got these guys.
When was the last time you heard somebody say that, I'm happy they caught that jaywalker?
Yeah, that's the point of the law. Oh, I'm so glad they took care. The thing that you said that was kind of head scratching to me was you pointed out the fact that there were people of color that were more likely to get ticketed for jaywalking than others.
Yes, that's in the report.
So there's too many. So the rationale is for the lawmakers. Look, there's too many minorities getting jaywalking tickets, so we better just legalize it. Is that the?
Yeah.
Is that the thinking of the
I mean, you put it
City
out
County
that way,
Council?
yeah, that's it.
Way too many minorities getting jaywalking tickets. Hey, I've jaywalked before. You've jaywalked before. Like, looking up and down the street. If there's nobody coming and I'm not at a crosswalk, I'm doing it. I'm crossing it. It's called jaywalking. But it's also pretty damn dangerous. I've seen some people here on, like, Illinois when I pull out of the garage at night, when I'm coming down on West Street towards the building in the late morning, early afternoon. There are some people taking some risks.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a rule. It's a law for a reason.
Right. And here in Indy, like the mayor's office, that's why they're trying to do a lot of these no turn on reds or whatever.
Can't turn on red. Yep.
Because all of these lunatics are just walking out in front of cars. Yeah. And instead of saying, hey, stop the jaywalking, now we've got to sit there looking like idiots at a red light when we could easily just turn. Narrator.
But Jason turns anyway.
Do you really?
He knows there are 350 to 500 officers shy in Indianapolis, and they're not going to arrest him.
Because they're needed for drug dealers and murderers. Did I do Rob Kendall okay there?
I can't believe you just admitted that on the air.
I was trying to do my off-the-rails impression.
It sounded good. Yeah,
Thank you.
We'll find out later. We'll compare it, right?
Yes. He's going to yell.
Rob will be here later.
We'll bring up Abdul. He'll yell. Is this anything? A driver in Louisiana caused a 2-car crash while attempting the viral drift challenge seen on TikTok. The idea of the challenge is to oversteer on purpose to lose traction and drift.
Yeah.
Here's some dude named Cliff. He's the assistant chief of the Central Police Department talking about what he sees with the drift challenge.
People who are posting these things on TikTok and other social media platforms who have no responsibility for and do not care about your children are giving them examples that entice children to follow them. And we have accidents just like this.
I need to hear more context of Cliff, the assistant chief of police. Don't blame social media. Don't blame people for posting stuff on social media. Blame the criminals that are doing it. Okay. I respect law enforcement, of course. We're a pro-law enforcement show, but that, to me, that little clip, just the people that are posting these things, they're the ones that are responsible. No, it's the drifters. It's
right.
What do they call it here in Indy? Sliding,
something like that. Street takeovers, and that's where they do all this crap and the burnouts and the donuts.
Yeah, it's dangerous. People get hurt. People don't want that crap in their parking lot or in their neighborhood.
And I'm hoping the police get the authority to put an end to it. But here in Marion County, when you've got Ryan Mears in the prosecutor's office and old Boss Hogsett sitting with his ass in the mayor's department, he would blame the police for trying to break these things up. Last one here. Is this anything? A mom and daughter in North Carolina. They're in the news after turning their business into a full-time hurricane relief center. They run a big 70,000 square foot place called Jimmy and Jean's Family Entertainment and Arcade. And they're looking to help out some of those affected by the hurricane.
We started this, we came in to assess our damages the day after the hurricane and learned that we had power, water, internet, and a big space for kids to run around. So I suggested to Jennifer, who was also my mother, that we open it up to our football team for kids to come run around. I was told no, that if we were going to open it up to the football team, that she wanted to open it up to the county.
Keep in mind, we were a functioning family entertainment center when Hurricane Helene hit. So we have a 2-story playground, lots of inflatables, arcade games, pool tables, those kinds of things.
We have the same volunteers coming in every single day, just an outpouring support.
Boy, I'm thinking as a kid here, if a hurricane ruined or destroyed my house and I got to go live in the family entertainment and arcade, holy crap.
Jackpot.
Yeah, I know the parents still have plenty to worry about.
Right.
But these people that opened their business, they're giant. I've been to these things before. I get anxiety overload. Like some of the bouncy places, some of the Monkey Joe's there in Castleton when my kids were younger. And then there's another... a trampoline place right by
Sky
Zone, right by Twin Peaks there, and there's stuff in Plainfield. I get such huge anxiety, but kids love that crap, man. They love it. And when I was a kid, I would have eaten it up too.
I love the fact that you use Twin Peaks as a reference point. So if
right
you know where Twin
it.
Peaks is, it's over there. It's a little bit behind.
Castleton.
If you get to the light, you've gone too far past Twin Peaks. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Those who don't have 20/20 vision usually do something about it. But many who can't breathe freely through their nose just live with it, not realizing they can have 20/20 breathing. At Advent, we're out to change that. With 20/20 breathing, you'll have fewer sinus infections, more energy, you'll sleep better, and you will live better. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. In 2006, Advent pioneered the balloon sinuplasty procedure. And since, thousands of our patients can tell you, this simple 20-minute in-office solution really works. Balloon sinuplasty can give you 20/20 breathing so you can breathe freely through both nostrils with your mouth closed day and night. And that can change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Hey, diamond lovers. Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. When it's this important, you want someone who knows exactly how to work with your budget. Not against it. Someone who knows you deserve a piece more beautiful than you've ever imagined. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've always sourced our diamonds and gemstones directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. So many in stock and ready to take home today. Create your dream engagement ring in 3 easy steps. Or pick a perfectly preset ring that's created by our in-house design team. Browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts for everyone in your life, from diamond and gemstone studs to must-have tennis bracelets and beautiful birthstone necklaces. With our everyday competitive prices and unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company is your go-to destination for fine jewelry. Visit shaneco.com and come in to see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Don't you deserve health care you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for Indianapolis, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You could probably use some more rain. 64 degrees and rainy at the moment, depending on where you are. The radar shows that rain's mostly hitting the east side, low of 42 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 432. Other than today, Indiana really hasn't gotten much rain the last month. Andrew White with the National Weather Service says the dry conditions do raise a risk for fires.
This time of the year especially, there's a lot of field fires, especially with people out getting the farms harvested, and especially when you're talking 2-3 weeks without rain, it's going to become a bigger issue, especially as those leaves begin to fall.
White says today's rain should be gone by the end of the night. The next chance for any would be Sunday. Reports currently suggest thousands of North Korean soldiers are being sent to Russia to help the country fight Ukraine.
All countries should be demanding that the DPRK cease these destabilizing actions. We are closely consulting with our partners and also with Japan.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken, about 10,000 North Korean troops are being trained and they could be put into action. Former President Donald Trump claims his opponent wants nothing to do with unity.
You know, she talks about unity. Oh, unity, unity. Oh, yeah, unity. By the way, he's like Hitler. He reminds me of Hitler. He's a fascist. She's talking about we're going to have unity, and then she calls me a fascist in the next sentence. This is the worst unifier.
Trump campaigning in New Mexico today. State Biden won by 11 points 4 years ago. The Trump campaign's optimistic they can flip the result this time around. If a haunted bar crawl sounds like something you'd want to do, well, you could try the walking haunted pub crawl in Valparaiso Saturday.
As we make our way from bar to bar, you get to hear some really cool stories, some really cool history.
Mike McDowell starts the tour at 7:30. It begins at the Franklin House, which has spooky stories about past employees who won't leave the building. You can get your tickets at chaostrips.com. A tough day in the market. The Dow closing down by 378 points to 41,763. The Nasdaq down by 512 to 18,095. And the S&P 500 falling by 108 to 5,705. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:34.
Hey folks, Hunter Smith here. I spent every fall from my childhood until my days in the NFL on the gridiron. Football gave me the chance to attend Notre Dame and go on to win a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts. Football also taught me life lessons about hard work and toughness. This fall looks a little different. I'm not on the field. I'm running to represent you at the State House. And I'm taking hits from opponents. Hits meant to mislead you about my values and priorities. I'm tough enough to take it, and I trust voters are smart enough to know the truth.
Hunter Smith is a husband, father, and local business owner of Wonder Tree Farm. At the State House, Hunter will work to lower property taxes without impacting priorities like public safety. The Indiana State Police Alliance and Fraternal Order of Police endorse Hunter Smith, and Hunter will always empower parents to choose the best education for their kids. Vote Hunter Smith for state representative.
Paid for by Hunter Smith for Indiana.
With traffic at 436, here's Matt Baer.
Harrison Southside crash eastbound 465 at Emerson Avenue. Left lane is blocked. Traffic stop and go back to US 31 for an 18-minute delay. Crash clear south end of downtown. Westbound 70 after west. Traffic stop and go into the south split. That backs us up into the north split. And westbound 70 slow from rural on in. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic MLK to Meridian Penn. 7 minutes on the delay. Looking at the southwest side, southbound 465 slow, 70 to the White River. Northwest side, northbound 465 stop and go after 79th up to 865. Crash serious, Fall Creek Road at Shafter Road. That's also Fall Creek Road North. 3 vehicles involved, somebody's hurt. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thanks, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Cool drought just in time tonight for those going out trick-or-treating with decreasing clouds. Any breeze still around. Lows will eventually fall into the low 40s by Friday morning. Friday bright and cooler with highs in the mid to upper 50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Turn back now or meet your fate.
The Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
And my name is Nigel. Hammer's here. In election coverage happening Tuesday, all day, all night. And I had a good experience last night voting.
Oh, you went out and voted?
Yeah, early. Took the fam, got off the air. Went to Zionsville Town Hall, probably about a 35-minute wait. They were telling me the volunteers said earlier in the day, yesterday, it was a couple of hour wait, like out the door into the rail trail there. I saw Doug Bowles, IMS president, a friend of the show. We love Doug.
Good dude.
I mean, Doug's amazing. And I said, Doug, when am I going to see your name on a ballot? When am I going to be voting for you? He looked at me when I asked him that question like I asked him to give me a prostate exam. He's like, are you kidding me? I'm just asking. I've seen the T-shirts before at the IMS, right?
Right. Fans wear T-shirts that say, Doug Bowles is the only president I'm going to vote for.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think he was very receptive to the idea of running for actual office, but it's a good experience. Kids, I'd let the kids press the buttons.
Good.
Wife and I both voted.
Get them exposed to it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, by the way, early voting in Indiana, I'm just looking at this NBC News website, 941,641 mail-in and early in-person votes cast so far. 56% registered Republicans, 35% registered Democrats.
And again, next Tuesday, it is on like Donkey Kong, Election Day. Sometime between tomorrow and Monday, I'm going to have a segment on the show, and we're going to talk about judges. A lot of people have sent me messages saying, hey, a lot of these judges in Marion County, they're woke, they're jokes. We got to vote these people out. Do not retain them, but which ones should we do? So we're going to have a conversation about judges either tomorrow or Monday. Haven't figured it out yet. Still getting some information, but you guys have wanted something like that. We're absolutely going to do that. Halloween tonight. A lot of kiddos going out in the streets. Please be careful. And because it is an election season, but it's also Halloween, it seems like a lot of people are putting attack ads out there. Yeah. Even Halloween has an attack ad.
October 31st, vote no on Halloween. Halloween supports dangerous roving gangs of children going door to door to get their fix. When it comes to healthcare, Halloween doesn't care. Under Halloween, tooth decay rates have doubled and instances of child obesity have skyrocketed. Halloween is deceptive. Sure, it may look like a sexy firefighter, but don't count on Halloween if your house is burning down. And Halloween is not a legal holiday. If Halloween had its choice, it would allow for more illegal holidays to invade and take over your calendar.
Damn right!
Halloween is no treat. This October 31st, vote no on Halloween. Paid for by Thanksgiving.
I'm Thanksgiving, and I approve this message. Everybody's getting an attack ad.
Yep, everybody.
You were talking about some of those early vote numbers in Indiana. Key swing state is Georgia. Now, years ago, Georgia was not a swing state. Now it is. 613,000 Georgia voters who did not participate in the 2020 election have already voted. This is according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the paper of record there. 613,000 new voters. And here's the thing that caught my attention. The reporter, Greg Bluestein, who put this story out in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, says that it's not in stronghold areas that are around Atlanta or the major cities. It's predominantly in the areas that Republicans dominate. Now, you look at that number, 613,000. Throughout the course of 4 years, you're going to get people who just become of age, people who move in.
Well,
but it ain't that big, right? That's a big number of new voters. And if it's predominantly Republican areas, people are fired up. So just keep an eye on that. We'll see what happens. I know this doesn't really mean a whole lot right now, but it's better than bad news if you're a Republican. All right, I want to take a break here and leave plenty of time for this next segment.
Okay.
Choose your fighter, if you will. What is your Halloween song between Ghostbusters or Thriller? Now, there are other songs out there. I know somebody's going to say Monster Mash. Somebody's going to say this or that. But of these two alone, Ghostbuster or Thriller, what is your number one seed in your Halloween playlist?
There's no way I could pick that. Come on.
Think about that. And I've got some interesting remixes of these songs we're going to share with the class coming up next.
As summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-494-5004 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-494-5004. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Jennifer McCormick couldn't name a single thing she disagreed with Hillary Clinton on. That's because, just like Hillary, McCormick backed failed liberal policies. She endorsed Bidenomics, said she'd be honored to serve in Biden's administration. She opposed school choice, and she even supports biological boys playing girls' sports.
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
I did vote for Hillary Clinton. She had some great, world foreign policy experience. So, I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
It gets worse. Here's what Jennifer McCormick says about Donald Trump.
I cannot get behind that. Never voted for Trump, never will vote for Trump, never was behind Trump, never will be behind Trump. I just cannot get behind a party who is behind that type of leadership. To me, it's nonsensical.
Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the precision and accuracy of the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indy. You'll be amazed at the permanent natural results you can get and get back to work ASAP. Darren Andrews, Clinic Director of We Grow Hair Indy, is here to tell us more.
The Artist Robotic FUE hair transplant at We Grow Hair Indy, one of the most sophisticated hair transplant procedures available. The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Don't wait. Call today and find out more about the Artist Robotic FUE at WeGrowHairIndy.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your hair evaluation. 317-522-2995 or go to WeGrowHairIndy.com. and grow your hair back today.
If you recently lost health coverage due to a life change, healthcare.gov is here for you. Like it was there for Marcus when he lost his job, and Keisha when she turned 26 and lost her parents' insurance, and Elena when she went off Medicaid. There are many other ways to qualify. Visit healthcare.gov today to see if you're eligible to enroll. Limited time to enroll. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Research shows smoking costs Indiana businesses $3.1 billion every year. It also shows that an extra $2 per pack tax on cigarettes would drastically reduce smoking, which could save lives, create jobs, and infuse the state of Indiana with hundreds of millions of dollars annually. Read the reports from the Richard M. Fairbanks Foundation at thepriceofsmoking.org and see for yourself how an extra $2 per pack tax on cigarettes can have a positive impact on Hoosiers.
Hi, this is Richard Stevenson, reminding you we give free second opinions. Call us at 317-557-8532.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is your independent American Standard air dealer.
The Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. For hunting, sporting, and personal protection gear, visit the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Would you like fries with that? Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
It is Halloween night here throughout the great state of Indiana and all across America. So, Allison, I feel like we've got to get people in the spirit here. Matt Bear, if it's all right with you, I'm going to kill this music, and I'm going to get something a little bit more spooky if we can.
My.
Oh, there it is. Now, when they look at the spooky roads It's Matt Bear.
All right, looking at the south side, eastbound 465 at Emerson Avenue. Crash blocking the left lane, stopping traffic past US 31. And right now, that delay is on 27 minutes. Eastbound 70, stop and go to downtown. Holt Road to the south, split for a delay of 11 minutes. Southbound 65 slows MLK all the way down to Fletcher Avenue. Westbound 70 slow after rural through the north split out to West Street, northwest side. Northbound 465 stop and go from 79th up to 865. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
65 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
What happened? Did somebody die here?
Maybe. 93 WIBC.
All right. We've got a poll up on the Hammer and Nigel Show Twitter right now.
Okay.
What is a better song for rocking out on Halloween?
Oh, man.
Thriller or Ghostbusters? Now, these are the only two choices. Don't be that person suggesting other things. Nobody likes that person.
Monster Mash. Are you guys stupid or what?
Dracula. I thought you guys like rock.
Dracula.
No, Thriller
That's a
or
good one,
Ghostbusters? This is the poll we have at Hammer and Nigel on Twitter. Which of these is a better song to hear on Halloween? I came in with Ghostbusters there. You heard Allison playing that music, and I'm Team Ghostbusters. I've always thought it was a fun song, and it's held up throughout, the course of time. So here are a couple different renditions of Ghostbusters. Nige, tell me if any of these move the needle for you.
Okay.
When they came out with the god-awful all-chick version of Ghostbusters, the movie was awful. It was panned by critics. But Fall Out Boy did a cover of the Ghostbusters classic theme. Tell me if this is all right. Okay.
You see my overbite there?
That means you're really feeling it.
My little white man overbite? There.
Now, the Ghostbusters theme, there was some legal stuff about it because Huey Lewis and the News, they were supposed to do that song, but then they didn't want to do it. So Ray Parker Jr. kind of ripped off the music from Huey Lewis, I Want a New Drug, and Huey Lewis sued them and won, but later violated the terms of the agreement, talked about it, and had to pay the money back. Ooh. I think he did like a behind the music or something. So here is what it sounds like when you put I Want a New Drug with Ghostbusters.
Yep. There's a point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty similar, right?
It's identical.
Let me take it into Nigel's world here. A little alternative rock. 9 Inch Nails Closer mashed with Ghostbusters. Come on!
No.
This song is completely different now. Oh, here we go. Okay, all right.
Pretty good.
Now,
Pretty good.
This is a new one. I don't think you've ever heard this one yet. Somebody mashed up Thunderstruck from AC/DC with Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's perfect. That's great.
It's not bad. Ghostbusters! All right, so let's shift it a little bit. Maybe you're Team Thriller.
That was good.
The original title of the song, Thriller, was called Starlight.
Yeah.
And this was one of the early recording sessions of Michael Jackson.
So weird to hear it like that.
I like Thriller better.
You do? You don't say.
Just a little bit.
That's a little bit. That's a hot take.
Now, the poll on Twitter, you've only got an hour to vote. It's just one of those flash 1 hour polls, and it looks like Thriller is the front runner early on. But if you've ever thought to yourself, you know, I like the song Thriller, but I also like bluegrass country music. What if somebody found a way to mash those two together?
It's gross.
And it wouldn't be Halloween here on the Hammer and Nigel show if we didn't take the iconic laugh that Vincent Price does at the end of Thriller.
Sure.
And compare it to, I don't know, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, and TV icon from the great state of Indiana, Sammy Terry. If that doesn't scare the hell out of you, I don't know what does.
Nightmares.
Get those votes in on Twitter right now.
Man, I'm going to say Thriller.
All right.
I know you said Ghostbusters, but I'm doing Thriller.
At Hammer and Nigel, you can vote right now. Guy Relford, Donnie Burgess, the best Delphi coverage in Indy. They are coming up next, and we got a lot to go over.
If you're asking how much money you need to retire, that's the wrong question. The question you should be asking is, how much money do I need every month to cover my expenses in retirement? Just a matter of creating different sources of income to cover your expenses. Discover how you can turn your savings into guaranteed streams of income in retirement with Bill Demery. He's your retirement guy right here in Indy.
Social Security alone is not going to be enough. So you need to have somebody you trust to steer you in the right direction. So if you've saved more than $200,000 for retirement, contact Bill Demery. That's who I work with. That's who Nigel works with. He is the best. Bill Demery, your retirement guy. Set up a time to chat. Just speak with him. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Make next year the year you take care of your money. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-251-1912. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 463-251-1912. That's 463-251-1912.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Guys, we're notorious for putting things off. But when it comes to plumbing problems, you don't have to live that way. If you're tired of taking showers with low water pressure or not enough hot water, you've got to stop putting it off and call Lance and the local team at LD Smith Plumbing and ask about water heater specials. These are the guys I trust in my house and in my friends' houses and my relatives' houses, and they're the licensed plumbers you want in your house too. LDSmithPlumbing.com. That's LDSmithPlumbing.com.
Psst. Can you hear me? So can your customers. Get your message heard. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is making its way back to Gamebridge Fieldhouse on December 19th with an all-new show, The Lost Christmas Eve Tour. For tickets and more information, head to WIBC.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the prosecution is done presenting their case in the Delphi murders trial. Donnie Burgess reports on it. There were a couple of crashes on interstates near Indy this morning and a haunted pub crawl in Valparaiso you might be interested in. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
A fresh round of finger-pointing. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Trump campaign calling comments from Harris campaign surrogate Mark Cuban insulting to the thousands of women who work for the former president and millions of women voting for him after Cuban said Trump doesn't like to surround himself with strong, intelligent women. Earlier today, Harris taking issue with Trump, calling himself a protector of women, whether they like it or not, calling that offensive to women.
In terms of not understanding their agency, their authority, their right, and their ability to make decisions about their own lives.
While also telling reporters she'll keep talking about grocery prices and help for small businesses and first-time home buyers.
These are the issues that the American people want to talk about because these are the issues that affect them. These are the issues they think about when they're sitting at their kitchen table or when they're trying to go to sleep at night.
She's holding rallies in Nevada and Arizona, two states Trump is also visiting after an earlier rally in a Democrat-leaning border state, New Mexico.
Speaking in Albuquerque, he praised Hispanic voters.
They're smart, they're entrepreneurial as hell. They're great entrepreneurs, actually. Great small business owners and big business owners, too.
The former president said New Mexico voters are on the front lines of one of the most important issues.
One of the biggest reasons we will win this state is that you have among the worst border problems of any state in America. And I am the only one that knows how to fix it.
The former vice president of Navajo Nation took the stage to praise the former president for an order he signed as president that he said provided more resources to investigate cases of missing and murdered indigenous women.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Fox News learning that U.S. Capitol Police plan to switch to an enhanced posture to protect Capitol grounds ahead of the election. That includes lining Capitol Square with bike rack fencing, though not a massive fence around the perimeter as they have for some large events. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Wrapping up their argument, 64 degrees and cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. Just a little bit of rain on your radar north of the circle. Low temps down at the 40s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. The prosecution is expected to wrap up its case against Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen. Donnie Burgess reports.
The majority of day 12 in Delphi was spent discussing prison phone calls Allen made last year to his wife and mother. Allen constantly talked of killing himself, killing Abigail Williams and Liberty German, and wanting everything to be over. At one point, Allen mentions that he intended to rape the girls, but a nearby van spooked him. The state claims that's information only the killer would know. The defense plans to question that van's owner and introduce their own phone calls, where Allen denies involvement in the murders. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A fatal crash happened on I-465 on the southwest side this morning. State Police Sergeant John Perrine says someone else hit a deer on I-70 westbound today.
Yeah, that one started as a car-deer crash, which is something that's very common, especially this time of year. What we call a secondary crash, a crash that happened moments after that one because of what was in the roadway very critically injured somebody, and that crash is under full reconstruction as well.
The person who hit the deer is still alive. They're trying to recover from their injuries. Perrine says the rain today has been heavy at times, which has made visibility less than ideal. Indianapolis has been abnormally dry this month, says Andrew White with the National Weather Service.
We've been under 1/10 of an inch, which if the month would have ended yesterday would have set the record for the month. It does look like we could get upwards of maybe 1/4 inch today, which would put it just above what the record low for the month would be, but very abnormally dry.
White says more rain is possible Sunday, along with some comfortable fall temperatures into the 60s. There's what's called the Walking Haunted Pub Crawl in Valparaiso this Saturday night. Mike McDowell gets it started at 7:30.
This one starts out at the very haunted bar in Valparaiso called the Franklin House. They've got a ton of stories about past employees that have passed away that come back and won't leave the building.
McDowell says as you go from bar to bar, you get to learn about the history and stories that make each place a little bit haunted. Perfect for Halloween. Tickets available at chaostrips.com. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 5:04.
Everyone is talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation. Like your neighbor Dennis.
In the process of refinishing my garage and, trying to turn it into a man cave. So I started searching, online, and I ran across Galaxy.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings is not epoxy. It's better.
First thing I wanted to do initially is I wanted to repair where the concrete had eroded. They said they could do that. I said, well, heck, let me go ahead and get the entire floor covered.
Commercial or residential, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a 15-year warranty.
They were so courteous and respectful of the home and the property. And when they're done, they cleaned up, picked up, swept up. It was like they were never there.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com now. That's Galaxy Concrete Coatings. And remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. We're out of this world.
I would recommend Galaxy over any other competitor, hands down. You're going to be taken care of and you're going to be satisfied. These guys know what they're doing.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
Southside crash clear on eastbound 465 at Emerson Avenue, still jammed up back to Harding Street, but the front of the line will get on the move here. It just cleared, so it's good. Also looking at southbound 465 in Lawrence. This is a stall after Penn Pike, and it's blocking the shoulder. Serious crash. This is Fall Creek Road, okay? Fall Creek Road on the northeast side as Shafter. And this is a 3-car crash with injury. Stay clear, I would. And eastbound 465 stop traffic from Westfield Boulevard to the White River. Inbound 65 stop and go from MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 from Holt Road to the South Split. That is stop and go traffic taking 25 minutes extra, 25-minute delay there. Traffic sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIPC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We'll dry out just in time tonight for those going out trick-or-treating with decreasing clouds, any breeze still around. Lows will eventually fall into the low 40s by Friday morning. Friday, bright and cooler with highs in the mid to upper 50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! Happy Halloween from the Hammer and Nigel show. Be safe tonight. A lot of kids walking around. If you're going to be driving, put down the phone and pay attention, okay? Big Nige is here. I'm Jason Hammer. And in studio, Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom. And standing by on the hotline is 2A attorney, defense attorney, Guy Relford, the host of the Gun Guy Show. And before we get into what transpired today, let me just say thank you to both of you guys, because you come in here every day. You deliver, you do your homework. Donnie's got what happened in the court. Guy provides his perspective. And I've heard from so many of our listeners that they love this. Thank you so much for doing this. So on behalf of our listeners, on behalf of Nigel and I, thank you guys so much, Donnie.
No, thank you for affording us the valuable time. I appreciate it.
All right. So earlier in the show, we talked about how today was the day in the early morning session that a lot of these recorded conversations of Richard Allen to his wife, Richard Allen to his mother, were played for the jury, and a lot of these were confessions. Walk me through this.
Yeah, Master Trooper Brian Harshman was the last witness called by the prosecution to give his. He dubbed himself the phone guy. He was the one listening to all these calls that Allen made, and they examined about 7 or 8 calls today where Allen made general confessions. A lot of things that we heard yesterday as well, in terms of, Allen just blanket statements of, I killed Abby and Libby, I killed the girls, I want to die, I need to die, blah blah blah. But they go back to this one confession, and this is the big one, because the state of Indiana opened up their case on Friday, October 18th, and said that Allen confessed to details only the killer would know. Well, now we know what that detail, singular, is. That detail is that Allen planned to sexually assault the girls. He saw a van nearby. He got spooked, marched them across the creek, killed them, and then went home for 7 years. That van part is the part that the state says only the killer would know that part. But as with pretty much everything else in the case, the defense plans to start poking holes at that theory for the rest of the trial.
All right, so let me get Guy Relford in the conversation here. Guy, a lot of recordings played for the jury today. A number of these recordings, Richard Allen speaking to his wife. There's a couple where he's speaking to his mother. He says that he did it. He killed Abby and Libby. You heard all the information that Donnie brought to the table here. What do you think?
Well, these potentially have a much bigger impact than some of the other quote-unquote confessions that Donnie's reported on earlier in the case, and that's because a confession to law enforcement that comes at the end of a long, grueling, arduous examination and interrogation. You've been on the hot seat for hours and hours and hours, and finally at the end you say, okay, fine, I did it. That's one thing. Because a confession always has to be freely and voluntarily made. You also, separate issue, have to have been competent, that is mentally competent, to have given the confession so as to make it free and voluntary when it's made. But it's a different thing in terms of any allegation that a confession was coerced or compelled. It's different when it comes at the end of a long cross-examination, or interrogation is the right word, by law enforcement, as opposed to just walking over, picking up the phone in jail, calling your mom or calling your wife and saying, hey, I got something to tell you. I did this. And the words that stuck with me, as Donnie reported earlier in the day, where I did it, I killed Abby and Libby, that's compelling. But there are still issues. There are still issues with respect to what else happened that day? Is there anything that law enforcement may have done, jailers may have done, that might have compelled that in some way? And secondly, was this guy mentally competent to be making those statements, knowing what he was really doing, understanding what he was doing, and this isn't just part of some psychosis or other mental illness he's going through at the time that led him to do some other really bizarre things while he was in trial. And that's not to draw a conclusion, but those are issues you're going to get into. But one thing I always want to emphasize when it comes to confessions here, too, there are 3 battles really that you fight as a defense attorney with confessions. One is it even admissible? And they fought that battle early in the case. As Donnie reported on, there were motions brought by the defense. You got to keep these out. And the allegation is they were never voluntary. They were coerced. Therefore, they're inadmissible. Secondly, you argue to the jury what the effect ought to be as to whether they believe these confessions or not. But third, and this will be really interesting at the end of the case, is there's also a fight that the public never sees. There's a fight over jury instructions. And each side goes in with a proposed instruction, say, Your Honor, you ought to instruct the jury this way or that way. And this is when the judge instructs the jury on the law. And the defense, I'll guarantee you, is going to be submitting proposed instructions that say you can only consider this confession if you find that it was freely and voluntarily made. You can only consider this confession if it wasn't coerced. You can only consider this confession if he was competent to make the confession at the time. So the defense is going to be arguing for those kind of jury instructions, and we'll see what Judge Gall at the end of the day ends up giving in terms of jury instructions. But there are just a whole lot of issues around confessions that I always want to get into on that issue.
Donnie, did the state's witness today, the Indiana State Police Master Trooper Brian Harshman, go into detail about Richard Allen's state of mind while he was making these calls? Because based on the pool information that I've been reading, that you and your colleagues have been putting out, a lot of these phone calls, he was crying, very emotional. Was the mental state of Richard Allen brought up in any way today?
Yeah, they touched on that again. Harshman said at certain points that that sometimes he didn't feel that he was necessarily crazy or making things, bizarre statements, nothing like that. Really.
Let me jump in here real quick because I know you've got your notes and I've got mine. May 10th, 2023, a call from Richard Allen to his wife, Kathy. This was approximately a 5-minute phone call. Allen tells his wife, quote, "I think I've lost my mind." And then his wife responds, "We've all lost our minds." And then he goes on to talk about more things regarding Abby and Libby. But that statement right there, "I think I've lost my mind," that stood out to me.
Yeah, and Harshman at least said that he was asked by the defense, were the bulk of the confessions taking place during the time Allen was exhibiting bizarre behaviors, and Harshman said yes, he agreed with that notion of Allen's behavior. When we come back to the issues with confessions, we are still dealing with, okay, what was Richard Allen's condition at the time upstairs? And then when we get into the van part, the van part is going to be very key that we can spend some time on. But there were a couple other things that really heated up towards the end of today's session.
Okay, so let's take a little break, and we're going to get to the van part, the heated part. Donnie's got some great information for us. Guy's going to provide amazing analysis. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Matt Bear's going to get you home safely, though.
Yeah, Hammer, good news on the south side. Crash clear eastbound 70 at Emerson Avenue. Now stop and go back to 31, and then we are jammed up back to Harding Street. Eastbound 70 struggling this afternoon. We are stopped from Holt Road into Belmont, then stop and go into the south split. Delay there is 21 minutes. Inbound 65, stop and go 29th to Meridian Penn, 8 minutes on the delay. Eastbound 465 north side, stop and go traffic after Meridian over to the White River. In a crash, Fall Creek Road at Shafter. That is a 3-car crash. Somebody's hurt. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
65 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. More with Donnie Burgess, Guy Relford. We've got some very interesting things that took place in the courtroom. We're going to get the breakdown and analysis next.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good? Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
Have you heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, He filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience. So I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick, she's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens in Westfield. Starting today, it's 30% or more off all nursery items in stock. You heard me right. Container trees, shrubs, and balled and burlapped items are at least 30% off. Visit the Garden Center for even deeper discounts. Looking to decorate for Halloween and Thanksgiving? Sundown Gardens can help you there, too. Save 30% off interior fall decor inside Miss Mary's gift shop. Enjoy fall and save at Sundown Gardens, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
I had the ring already. She had made it very clear what kind of ring she wanted.
Yep.
I pretended that I was going to kneel and picked up a pine cone instead of pulling out a ring.
What a jerk. But when I saw that ring, I was like, oh, he did good.
I really love Amy. I really, really genuinely love Amy.
I love you too.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Boy, Downy the rinse straight. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Stevenson Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard air dealer in Mooresville.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Donnie Burgess, Guy Relford breaking down wild day inside the courtroom, the Delphi murder trials. We just went over the morning session where we heard about a lot of the confession phone calls Richard Allen made to his wife, coupled to his mother. All right, the afternoon session, Donnie. This is where things starting to get serious here. What's the big takeaway from the afternoon session?
Well, the state of Indiana has rested its case. They're done. They have presented their case that they feel will be enough to, get the desired outcome that they want. But so Master Trooper Brian Harshman is still on the stand, and he's talking about these confessions, and then he's asked by prosecutor Nick McClelland about a recent outburst Richard Allen had in jail. And Harshman says, yes, that happened. And tell us about it. And Harshman says recently at the Cass County Jail, Richard Allen apparently had an outburst and screamed at a guard that he was going to kill him. And when that was said, the defense immediately jumped up and said, whoa. What are you guys talking about? This is stuff we've never heard this before. What is this evidence? What are you guys talking about? So they take a quick recess, and the state apparently has this 30-minute video that shows Allen just screaming at a guard or something that they were just going to try and enter.
And this was used basically as like the big grand finale for them to get ready to rest their case.
It would appear that way. So the judge said, okay, everybody come back at 2:15. Well, then everybody came back at about 2:35 because this was taking a lot longer. And so at that point, they all enter back into the room, and then the prosecution and defense come up with the judge, and they have like a 10-minute sidebar. And then the judge says, okay, we all, the judge, myself, and the prosecution and defense, we are going to go back into my chambers and watch this video to see what this even is, and I will determine if it's going to be admitted. And after watching the video, they come back into the room. The defense objects to that video being entered, and the judge agrees and blocks that video from being entered. So this video was apparently, the state was going to bring this in and say, hey, here's Allen threatening to kill a guard recently, because we know it's recent because he's in county jail now. And he was, had this been in the past, it would have been in, state prison.
Okay.
And so, yeah, and this, while this may not seem like a big deal on the surface, if you have studied this case for a long time, you know that the defense has long accused the state of withholding discovery, breaking discovery rules, not getting things to them on time. That's why the Odinism thing came in so late last year, because they were waiting on those files for months and months and months. And so when that was attempted to be entered today, the defense almost jumped through the roof, and they got their way, and so the state had to go ahead and rest their case after that.
So, Guy, there's a lot to unpack there. The state has rested their case. They were trying to put some video in that nobody knew what it was, and it caused a little controversy. Penny, for your thoughts.
Oh, so many problems with this. First of all, character evidence to prove someone committed a crime is almost always inadmissible. There are exceptions, but to say, well, this guy did this other bad thing, or he showed, violent tendencies in this other situation, that's admissible to prove a crime. That's almost always inadmissible. Secondly, if you're going to introduce something like a video at trial as evidence, as an exhibit, you have to disclose it to the other side. And if you don't do that, then it's excluded. So I guarantee you, I know exactly how these defense lawyers feel, because it's happened to me in the courtroom before. They're jumping out of their seats going, hold on, there's no way you can admit this and allow the jury to see this when it hasn't been disclosed to us, and it's probably inadmissible anyway. And that's when the judge goes, okay, all right, well, let's go fight about this outside the hearing of the jury and outside the hearing of the public, whether it's in chambers or at a sidebar or otherwise, or during a recess when they kick everybody out. But that's why she ultimately came back and said, no, this is not admissible, probably on both grounds. It's inadmissible character evidence, and it's inadmissible because it was never produced to the defense.
And, Donna, you had mentioned something about a van during the commercial break.
Yeah, so this van that you're hearing about, so the state of Indiana said Richard Allen made a statement in one of his confessions, a detail only the killer would know. We now know that detail is Richard Allen claims that right before he killed the girls, he saw a van and it spooked him out of sexually assaulting them, so he hurried up and killed them and then went home.
And that's also allegedly where he may have dropped the cartridge.
Yeah, that's where he said he was on the bridge and fumbled with his gun, and that's where the bullet fell out, which also isn't where the cartridge was found. So there's an issue there as well. But anyways, the potential problem here for the defense on the surface is that the state called witness Brad Weber, who owns property southeast of where the crime scene was, and he testified to getting home at about 2:30 that day, and in his van. And so, theoretically, this would be the van that Richard Allen saw, and on the surface, it looks like, okay, there's a little bit of legitimacy to what he just said. However, the defense yesterday said, Mr. Weber, we believe there are statements that you have made in the past with your timeline that shows that's not when you got home. And again, Brad Weber is the guy whose gun was not excluded years ago as the potential source for the cartridge.
Not excluded.
Not excluded. And then Weber yesterday got super angry, super defensive. You're lying. He had an outburst. And at the end of his outburst is when the defense handed him a subpoena. And so they are going to attempt to question his timeline that day, which would in theory question the whole timeline of events and question this van thing. And again, another issue with the van. The state says this is something only the killer would know about. Only the killer would know that there was a van getting home that day. Well, there's a problem. not only would the killer know that, but all of us would as well, because we've all known about the van for years.
Right.
As a matter of fact, live shots of the area a couple hours, about 12 hours into the search for the bodies, you can see that van at Weber's home. And so this is more information that has been out there accessible to all of us for years. And again, you have to factor in Dr. Monica Walla, the one who enjoyed, looking into the case and then passing that back along to Alan. So this whole van thing, this key detail that only the killer would know, we may have an issue here.
Guy, we got about a minute left here. You heard Donnie bring up the van situation and the big headline that the state rests. I know you're not in the courtroom, and it's hard for us to kind of get a feel of what exactly is the vibe of the jury or whatnot, but the state has rested their case. What do you think? Have they done a good enough job presenting the information for a conviction?
I think it all comes down to these confessions, because before frankly, until today's confessions came in, I think there was reasonable doubt all over this case. If the jury now is hearing about confessions that Richard Allen made when he wasn't under duress, he hadn't just been through a long interrogation, he just picked up the phone, decided to call mom or call his wife and confess, and even said things as specific as, yes, I killed Abby and Libby, that there may be jurors, maybe all of them, are sitting there going, all right, somebody's not going to do that unless they really committed the crime. I think it comes down to these confessions. But that's where some of the extraneous details that Donnie just went into are important in terms of what else was going on in his life that day. And by the way, the courts have also ruled that you can compel someone to confess, you can coerce someone to confess by doing things like cutting them off from their family, cutting them off from their other areas of support, cutting them off from counsel. And here's somebody who was held in isolation. Here's somebody whose lawyers were fired off the case by the judge for some period of time. So there's a whole lot more the defense has to get into here, that if the jury doesn't already have a reasonable doubt, they can certainly raise a reasonable doubt during the defense case in chief.
Guy Relford can be found on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Guy Relford. Donnie Burgess from the WIBC Newsroom, where can we get more coverage?
At Local Guy Donnie on Twitter and WIBC.com.
Again, big headline here. The state, the prosecution, they've rested their case, and now we turn our attention to the defense. Donnie, Guy, thank you guys so much. Rob Kendall about to go off the rails right now. Harrison Silcox has a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The calls he made while behind bars. Cloudy and 64 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Your radar is mostly clear. If you're getting any rain, it's because you're on the east side. Tonight's low drops to 43. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Prison phone calls and confessions were the subject for day 12 in Delphi. Donnie Burgess reports.
Suspect Richard Allen continued to claim he killed Abby and Libby while talking to his wife and mother last year. Allen's wife said the guards were messing with his mind and she didn't believe he was a killer. Allen apparently mentioned seeing a van back in February of 2017 that scared him out of the idea of raping the girls. The prosecution claims only the killer would know that detail, but the defense plans to prove otherwise. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A van was on fire and a person died this morning at the southwest side.
What happened was traffic was backed up on I-465, stop and go, just normal morning rush hour traffic, nothing significant. And a person driving a van ran into the back of a dump truck.
State Police Sergeant John Perrine says the van ended up on fire. Not long after that, the person driving died. Another serious crash this morning left a person badly hurt on I-70 westbound when their car hit a deer. Donald Trump with a promise this afternoon while campaigning in New Mexico.
The day I take the oath of office, the migrant invasion ends and the restoration of our country begins.
New Mexico hasn't gone Republican in a presidential election since 2004. Trump's campaign is hoping to change that this year. Biden took the state by 11 points in 2020. There are some reports of North Korean soldiers preparing to help Russia fight Ukraine. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
U.S. intelligence assesses there are 10,000 North Korean troops in Russia, and as many as 8,000 of them have deployed to the Kursk region near the Ukraine border. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he expects North Koreans will be used on the front line.
Putin has been throwing more and more Russians into a meat grinder of his own making in Ukraine.
Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin are pressing China to put pressure on both Pyongyang and Moscow to de-escalate the war. North Korea and Russia are deepening a military cooperation. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And Riley, hospital patients found out this week that they were getting tickets to see Taylor Swift in concert this weekend.
You guys will all get to go as guests in Laura's suite Sunday night to Taylor Swift's final show on her U.S. tour.
The announcement made in collaboration with the Riley Children's Foundation and Laura Denny from Denny Excavating, who gifted the suite tickets to the patients. The traffic at 5:33. Here's Matt Bear.
Eastbound 70 on the west side, Harrison Stomp Tibbs Avenue into the south split. 14-minute delay. South side, eastbound 465, still stop and go traffic from I-69 to I-65 because of an earlier crash. North side, eastbound 465, slows from Westville Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Crash cleanup continues. Fall Creek Road at Shafter Road. That was a 3-car crash. Somebody got hurt. And then inbound 65, stop and go from 29th to the north split. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We'll dry out just in time tonight for those going out trick-or-treating with decreasing clouds, any breeze still around. Lows will eventually fall into the low 40s by Friday morning. Friday, bright and cooler with highs in the mid to upper 50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
And now, Hammer and Nigel go off the rails with Rob Kendall.
Noise pollution.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here, also joining us live in studio. Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show, here to go off the rails. Rob, how are you?
Great. Thanks, as always, to our segment sponsor, Garage Doors of Indianapolis.
The last off-the-rails segment before the big election Tuesday. Will we have a winner by the time we do the segment next Thursday? Will we have a decision? Will we have an outcome for the president of the United States?
Oh, Nigel, you and your drugs. That's funny. That's some funny stuff right there. I don't know. I mean, when you're saying it's going to take 3-4 days to count, that's ridiculous, right? It's going to take 3 or 4 days to count ballots in these states.
Right.
I think we ought to have a national election day. I think I have found a compromise between the right and the left. Are you guys ready for this?
Bring it.
The left wants the election to be a national holiday, right? So I say we give them the national holiday in exchange for election day is 24 hours. You can vote. Your employer cannot keep you from voting for any reason. You got to leave work. They can't stop you. They can't fire you. It's a civil right or whatever you want to call it, but you got 1 day to vote. 24 hours, national holiday, can't be stopped from going to vote, and then everybody votes in 1 day. How about that?
Are there exceptions for those who are disabled or going to be going on vacation or something? Like, I need some more information.
Does Walter have an exception?
Right.
Like, Walter doesn't look like he gets around too well.
Now, being a moron is not an exception. However, yes, if you're disabled, yes, you would be allowed to have. Yeah, I mean, obviously there would be some things factored in there. But this idea of we vote for a month and everybody's mail-in and we're mailing ballots to people, that's all stupid. So we're going to give you a national holiday. Your employer can't stop you. You got 24 hours to get it done, and you got to show an ID.
Nigel and I talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to explain to somebody, we've got the ability to send a rocket up into space. It will come back down in the exact same spot. We will catch it with these hands, and we can reuse it. But it takes 5 days to count ballots from Pittsburgh.
The only reason that happens is because they don't want to count them all in 1 day. They have created laws and rules and regulations, or lack thereof in this case, that allows just complete insanity to take place.
Okay, friend of the show, Jeff Boggs, not Kenny Rogers, he has a plan. I'm going to run this by you because you are the former elected official.
That's right.
You're the political animal. Because it's always the big blue cities that wait till the last minute.
Sure.
Oh, it's going to take 4 or 5 days. What if all the towny red places decided, you know what, we're going to hold our ballots until they're done?
I saw him put that on Twitter the other day, and I told my wife, I said, I love this plan. I said, let's even the score here a little bit. Can you imagine, 3 days later, Pittsburgh's still not in yet. Liston still holding out.
So handicap this thing here. Let's start local, and then we'll work our way up for the presidential pick that you're going to give to us. Local elections, are we going to see any surprises?
I don't think so. I mean, you look at the ballots that are in right now, and this is early voting, right? We're told that always favors the Democrats. Right now, it's 56% of the ballots that have been cast have been cast by people who voted in a Republican primary. 35%.
Does that hold water with you, the whole early voting? Does that really matter to you? Yeah, I'm hearing all about this. We got the early votes. Does that really, to you and your political mind matter?
I think it shows enthusiasm. I mean, look, Democrats, as long as you vote, I mean, they're making a big deal right now about how women are casting all these votes in Pennsylvania, and I've seen multiple people from Pennsylvania go, no, that's the way it normally is. Men vote on Election Day. In Indiana, 55% of the ballots cast have come from women, 45% from men. Do we think there's this liberal wave? No, of course not. Men tend to vote on Election Day. A lot of women, and I'm not being disparaging by saying this, but either they're housewives or they're retired, they've outlived their husbands, whatever. I think it's a natural thing that more women are going to early vote. They have the time to be able to do it. I'm not trying to be facetious or mean when I say that. I just think it's just the way people live, and I think you'll see it. What is it? 51% of the country's women, 49 men, or whatever. That's the way it'll be come Election Day.
All right. As my co-host on the Degenerates Next Door betting podcast, we're going to do a little over-under here. Okay. I'm going to give you a race, and you tell me if you think the margin of victory I'm going to give you is going to be over or under. Mike Braun wins by 8%.
I will say, boy, that's a tough one. I will say under, but just slightly, but 7.2 would cash. So I think he'll end up with 50-ish. I think she's going to be 44-ish, 43-ish, and I think Rainwater will be 5 or 6. I could be wrong, but I think it'll be in the 6 to 7%.
Okay.
Margin.
Attorney General's race, Todd Rokita against Destiny Wells. Todd Rokita wins by 4%.
Oh, over. It's remember that, what was that Buccaneers game a couple weeks ago where you took Bucks over 21 points or whatever? We cashed it at halftime. He is going to beat the brains in on Destiny Wells. I can't wait.
Because there's a lot of people that don't like Todd Rokita for his personality. He's kind of brash. He can be cocky at times.
Oh, yeah. I have no love lost for Rokita, but she is horrendous. I mean, she got beat by... What'd she get beat by 14 by Diego Morales? You can't find a bigger boob than Diego Morales. And Rokita's going to win that one easy. Rokita may end up being I'll say I could see it being 57, 43, something like that. Over, way over.
And at the state level, last one here, Jim Banks is the first race called in the state of Indiana that he wins that Senate seat.
Oh, yeah. Most people don't even know the name of the woman he's running against, and the Libertarians, Andy Horn.
Is he going to be announced as a winner in Indiana before Donald Trump is?
No, I think it'll kind of be at the same time, right? I mean, I think Trump's going to get close to 60%. I talked to somebody, a mutual friend. I won't say him on air because he'd be tarred and feathered if the establishment knew he hung out with us. But he said, I think you were on the text thread. He said Trump could win this thing by 20 points. So I think that'll be very similar.
Well, when you have the current president of the United States calling his opponents' supporters garbage, I mean, that tends to move the needle a little bit, doesn't it?
Now, Nigel, he meant that comedian was garbage, and it was an apostrophe.
There was an apostrophe.
Oh, that's right.
There's an apostrophe in there.
Because Politico added that, and they would never do anything dirty. Politico and Adam Moran, they would never be the type of publication that, puts somebody's sexual assault out there against their wishes.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, you're insulting people's intelligence, which, of course, they changed the official transcript at the White House, right?
Sure they did.
I mean, come on. Everybody knows what he was doing. Everybody knows. And by the way, I think he's doing it intentionally.
Okay, that was what I was going to ask. Was that intentional, or is he just stupid?
No, he's doing it intentionally. Well, he is stupid. I mean, did you see him biting that looks like an AI image of him biting that kid in the chicken suit, and he's really doing it. Who puts their mouth on a random baby?
To be fair, he's always done that, and he thought it was a real chicken.
No, there's no way he did that accidentally. He totally knows what he's doing. He knows they screwed him over, and that's multiple times now. Remember when he put the hat on? She was surging, and he put the Trump hat on. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's together enough to still form complete sentences. He knew what he was doing, and he absolutely meant that because he does think we're garbage. He does think we're garbage, and he got to screw her over. It's a double win for him.
Do you think Abdul's garbage now? Because I heard you guys fighting the other day.
Well, you want to take a break? You want to take a break and get into that, or you want to get into it right now?
I want you to get into it in 2 minutes. I want 2 minutes of your time on Abdul starting right now.
Yeah, okay. Well, so this is related to Abdul, who's supposedly the most connected man in Indiana politics and government, right? He'll tell you that. Give him 20 seconds to start a sentence, and it'll end up being that. Somehow didn't know about a 4.5-year-old story that was vetted 4.5 years ago by media in this city, and then was vetted 4 months ago when Micah Beckwith ran for lieutenant governor about 2 bills that he owed that he paid in full 12 years ago. And Abdul acted like he was Indiana Jones finding the Ark of the Covenant and unveils this thing, and everybody goes, dude, this is an old story that even the Indy Star, who writes an editorial a day about how they hope Micah Beckwith dies and is found floating face down in the Monon.
Goodness.
Even they didn't touch it because there was no story there.
So I heard the interaction yesterday between you and Abdul. You had him on, I think it was the last segment of your show. Let's talk personal here. I mean, you guys have been friends for a long time. What's next in the relationship? Let's get behind the scenes.
Well, let's talk about why we got into it. Because what Abdul does is he tries to move back and forth between I'm a journalist and I'm a gossip monger or whatever. So he puts this old story about Mike in the cheat sheet. And then when he does that, he goes, oh, that's just my gossip side. He's always said for all the years I've known Abdul, my website is the legitimate journalism. If it's on my website, it's a legitimate news story. So then he puts the story the next day on his website, and then he admits, I didn't call Micah or text Micah, and then after he puts the story on the website, he texts Micah at 10:30 in the morning on a Sunday after he's printed the story. What does Micah do?
Yeah.
He's a pastor at a church on Sunday at 10:30.
He's not going to be able to get right back to that.
Of course not. It's crappy-ass journalism. Abdul wasn't trying to get the truth. There's no way Abdul hadn't already heard that story if he really is the most connected man in Indiana politics and government. I still like Abdul. I still consider him a friend, but that was a hatchet job that he tried to do there. And thankfully, with our audience, he didn't get away with it.
Nigel, I'm going to put this into your wheelhouse here. What I'm seeing with Rob and Abdul is like that scene we saw on stage with Jane's Addiction where Perry Farrell punched Dave Navarro. Dave Navarro says he forgives him and, he hopes they can move on.
Perry Farrell was doing horrible, screaming into the microphone, not making any sense. I don't want to... Abdul's not here to defend himself, but I just heard that interaction that I heard on your show the other day got pretty heated. I was like, whoa.
Well, it isn't about whether Abdul likes Micah or if he wants to run a 4.5-year-old story that was, again, fully vetted.
I don't understand that either. I don't get that.
He has tons of friends at the Star. There's no way he didn't know this story existed. That's fine. He can do whatever he wants to do. My thing is, don't tell me your website's legit news and then you don't call or reach out to the guy that's the focal point of the story before you put it up there anymore. And that was just horrible journalism. Don't tell me that's journalism. You were trying to get an end result, and I still like Abdul, still consider him a friend, but I wasn't going to let that go.
Yeah, not being contacted for a hit piece sucks. And let me tell you.
No, you'd be the first to know.
I'd be the first to know. Take a little break here. When we come back, Rob is going to give us his presidential election pick.
Dun, dun, dun.
That is coming up. We're going off the rails with Rob Kendall. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Foodies, listen up. Have you got your tickets yet to the World Food Championships going down November 8th through the 12th? One of the biggest events of its kind ever right here in Indy. 300 cooking teams, 1,200 chefs, 40 countries, and all the samples you can eat. Get those tickets at worldfoodchampionships.com.
So all of this is going down at the Indiana Farm Bureau Fall Creek Pavilion. It's inside the Indiana State Fairgrounds. The event features food samples, cooking demonstrations, celebrity chef appearances, premium experiences, barbecue and live fire activations, family fun zone, and more. To learn more or buy tickets, visit worldfoodchampionships.com.
If you're asking, how much money do I need to retire? You're asking the wrong question. The question you should really be asking is, how much money do I need every month to cover my expenses in retirement? Then it's just a matter of creating different sources of income to cover your expenses. Discover how you could turn your savings into a guaranteed stream of income in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. Call him at 317-648-5120.
We trust Bill Demery to help us with planning for retirement. He's our retirement guy, and you can trust him too. Bill breaks things down in a way that we can all understand. And if you've saved more than $200,000 for retirement, call Bill right now, 317-648-5120. Social Security alone won't be enough. Contact Bill Demery, 317-648-5120, 648-5120.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
At Shane Company, our engagement rings are the perfect blend of design, function, and beauty, each one a unique work of art. We meticulously craft our bridal jewelry in our jeweler's workshop to the highest standards, expertly setting each diamond by hand, ensuring the structure is perfectly balanced, and sizing everything for the perfect fit. Shane Company offers a free unmatched lifetime warranty because your engagement ring is an heirloom that was made to last. You'll cherish your ring today, tomorrow, and forever. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Hi, this is Richard Stevenson. We service all makes and models. Call us at 317-557-8532.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is your independent American Standard air dealer.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is making its way back to Gamebridge Fieldhouse on December 19th with an all-new show, The Lost Christmas Eve Tour. For tickets and more information, head to WIBC.com.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer crash, State Road 67 at Mooresville Road. Also eastbound to 465 on the south side. The crash cleared up. Traffic is cleared out through that construction zone. Eastbound 70 stop and go from Harding into Meridian, Illinois. And looking at the north side, eastbound 465, a little bit tight around Keystone Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, north at Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
64 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC. Back with Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show, 9 to noon here at 93 WIBC. All right, we talked about this in the Degenerates Next Door podcast, which is now out. The NFL edition is now out. We recorded it early today. Free picks wherever you get your podcast. But the biggest pick you're going to make is the President of the United States. Oh, man. We asked you this question about a month or two ago, and you leaned Kamala Harris. So, Rob Kendall, right now, for the last off the rails before the election, who you got.
Okay, if you guys remember 4 years ago, right before the election, we did a big WIBC roundtable, and everybody but me was all convinced that Trump was, the polls were all wrong. I mean, they were wrong, but that he was going to win. And I was the only guy that was like, ooh, I don't think these issues really line up for Trump this year. Here's what I'm torn on. The issues totally line up for Trump, but you're still dealing with the same machines, these Democrat machines in Nevada, in Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania. And the Republicans have done nothing in 4 years to fix the same issues that were at play in 2020, which, as my friend Ben Stein told me, statistically is impossible what happened election night in this country, that all those states flipped at almost exactly the same time. So if we're dealing, are you asking me who I think will
gun to your head, your life depends on you getting this right, who is going to be the next president of the United States?
He who counts the votes win. I know this is an unpopular opinion. I've seen nothing to say that the Republicans have fixed the awful jelly bean counting issues or the mass mail and unaccountable voting. I'll say and hope I'm 100% wrong, but I will say Kamala Harris.
There it is.
There it is.
And that's some, I can't blame your reasoning either. I mean, I think the Republicans have been running a better ground game the past couple of years, haven't they?
And Trump, I think Trump will actually get more votes than her. I mean, I think he will actually get more votes. But if you're asking me who's going to be declared president of the United States and sworn in, if you have no idea who gets the ballot, you have no idea who fills the ballot out, you have no idea who sends the ballot in, and you count them 93 days after the election, you can pick the number whatever you want to make it.
Special thanks to
Garage Doors of Indianapolis. You guys are the best.
He's Rob Kendall. He's off the rails. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, I'm an American Standard customer. I have American Standard equipment installed in my house. In fact, I have an American Standard dealer coming out to my house to give it a thorough inspection before winter starts. If you need service on your HVAC, I recommend American Standard service. Hammer will tell you.
Oh, let's make some noise for our friends at Kirby Heating and Air. Kirby has been in the business well over 3 decades. Lloyd and Jessica Kirby, they're the founders of this great family-run business, and now their sons, Robert and Adam, are carrying on the tradition of excellent service. Kirby, serving Hendricks and the surrounding counties. The reason they chose to install American Standard? One word: quality. So if you need furnace service to get ready for the winter, contact Kirby 892-3614 or visit kirbyheating.com. That's 892-3614. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
This week at Sundown Gardens, it's 30% off container trees, shrubs, and interior fall decor. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Holidays will be here before we know it. Maybe you've already started shopping for someone on your list. AAA Hoosier Motor Club inviting you to join them, help make sure some local kids in need get gifts through the Toys for Tots program. AAA giving you the chance to send a holiday message of hope to Central Indy's less fortunate kids.
And as a thank you for donating to Toys for Tots, current AAA members will receive 25% off any merchandise in the travel store or adding someone to your AAA membership, featuring their fabulous 24/7, 365 days a year roadside assistance for just $25. And non-members who donate will have the opportunity for early access to a special holiday offer, a classic AAA membership for just $50. Help local children in need this holiday season and secure your peace of mind with a AAA membership. Donate to Toys